I should have removed the stinger, I realize now, because oh my gosh, my head is so big, there's a map on top of it. Okay, ladies and gents, today we have a show match here, joined by the wonderful Mr. Corvinus. Corvinus.
Hello, welcome
Hello.
everyone to the show of tonight.
The show of tonight that Corvinus was unprepared for because I misinformed him and I thought he thought it was going to be a TFT night, but it is in fact an AoE night. Poor man. Thank you, Corvinus. Now,
Just the usual.
what we're going to do today is we're going to do a little bit of a hymn stream because, guys, today's Age of Empires showdown is sponsored by hymns. We've got two of the best players in the world that are going head to head in this show match that's going to be anything but flaccid. I needed to practice that one. That is actually... Oh. Okay, so you know how it goes. If your rams keep going limp mid-siege, maybe it's time to take some notes or take some action. So Hymns is about helping you stay up, not just your elo, not just your landmark, you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be heading into our first show match, and then we will be talking about this a little bit more, because I know this is everyone's favorite conversation to have. Hell yeah. No.
Not sure about it.
Let's hop on it. Oh my gosh. What am I doing? Okay, so, Corvinus. These two Chads in front of us, or this singular Chad, because right now we're only looking at one man, and now we're going to be looking at two of... Oh, never mind, my button didn't work. Okay, so Corvinus, we have Wham and ANOCHAD here today, and we have a matchup as JD and Byzantines. Now, I know people have been saying Byzantines is kind of busted recently. Where do you land on that?
Honestly, I believe Byzantine is still good against JD. Honestly. Because the reason behind that, because you can easily snipe JD with javelin throwers or with the lombos, right? If the enemy JD goes range JD, then the javelin throwers are insanely good against it because the extra damage, extra bonus damage against range units. And if you go with lombos, it's again really good because the lombo has 7 range, JD has 5. The range JD has no ranged armor, and the melee JD has only 2 ranged armor, so it's not really a hard time for the lombos to kill it. Also, the pick of Byzantine on this map is insanely good. Do you know why? Because I can already read what ANOCHAD is going to do. I think he will go most likely with Hippodrome. Maybe I'm wrong, but it
Yes.
really looks like Hippodrome for me.
This does look like a Hippodrome. And I felt like Anatan... Did you watch the games on Sunday?
No.
He whipped this one out against CSO. And it was absolutely disgusting. Anatan just showed us what the Hippodrome can do. So, yes, he's very confident in the Hippodrome. And honestly, he looks like he makes it work. It feels like the horses of him, they're just so good at raiding. And he definitely knows when to pull out. To not
Lord.
overcommit.
well, if he knows when to pull out, it's up to him. But the reason why Byzantine is a really good pick on this map is because the berries on the right side, like crazy amount of berries. And if he secures the map control with the Hippodrome, he just sends the villager over there, build a tower left to right, or maybe he goes in castle to the right side of the map, and he will build some Mangala towers, but we will see what's going to be his plan.
Now, when you're up against something like JD, does she even allow you to get to that point of the game? Because I feel like with JD as a civilization, she's just been so freaking dominant in terms of the feudal age forcing, I guess. So with JD, there's always that feudal age action, and even though she doesn't hit level 3, I feel like most players are usually pretty good at delaying that level 3 boost that she gets. But how do you feel about that? Do you think that's something that she could force out of Byzantines, or do you think the Hippodrome is actually good enough to punish it? Because we've seen horsemen against JD, and honestly, she does not look like she handles that too well.
Well, yeah, that's the reason behind it. So, like, if you remember, HR got an upgrade called the All Pikes, which give them 3 damage before it got launched, right? So we tested it out with 3 damage, and it was insanely strong. HRE Horseman with +3 damage, it had to be nerfed, right? But it's still the fact with the Hippodrome that you get a crazy amount of damage, just like you got with all Pike. Of course, it's for a limited time, so that's why it never got nerfed on the Hippodrome, because it's just for a limited time, not like HRE that you get the +3 forever. And that's why they had to nerf the +3 to +2, because at the same time they were destroying Gazi Raiders as well, the HRE Horsemen. Yeah, it was crazy. So I would say if ANOCHAD gets a really good time with his Horseman attack, a really good, like calculated action, then I can say that he can easily destroy Jeanne d'Arc with the Hippodrome Triumph.
So that's one thing that I can imagine definitely working with especially with ANOCHAD's aggression we've been seeing. Now, we've still been seeing a lot of people go for pro scouts in this meta, and I don't know, but I feel like it opens it up for Byzantines to get that rhythm going, because Wham knows that this is the Hippodrome, right? He's just scouted this. So he's probably not going to be too greedy. And as I say that, I see his second unit is already a scout. He's already getting pro scouts. Because we've seen what horses can do to shut down that early pro scouting that people feel confident in doing.
I mean, I'm not sure about pro scout on this map, because you have only one deer camp close by, right? And the other deers are on the left side of the map. And when he will try to pro scout, there is a high chance he will not really success, since you have those really pumped up horsemen.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. And with the healing that you can get from the Hippodrome, do you think that how many horsemen do you think you would need to actually deal with a knight?
I'm thinking right now, but I'm pretty sure you need only 2 horsemen to beat it without losing horsemen. Because of I'm pretty sure it's 4 extra damage, which is way much more than the nerfed all Pike, right? So 4 damage, and you get, I think, 1 HP per second. So you get like a crazy amount of healing as well. So those 2 connected, and let's say the Jeanne d'Arc didn't got the +1 melee armor in time, so maybe you got the +1 melee damage in time as Byzantine, because you can. Oh, that was really nice. You can get the +1 damage in time with Byzantine, because you can boost your technology buildings with the cistern. It's everything just times. If it timed very well, then he can do. Oh, really good question. Does he have the plus damage against the workers as the horseman?
That is a good question. That is a really good question. But it does feel like that charge does land pretty hard. What we do in JD in this case.
So he does not have the upgrade yet, which is interesting, because if you get that upgrade, you also get 20 gold on each villager kill. It can be villager, trader, fishing ship or trade ship, IOs, or any kind of unit that's count as a worker, even cows.
Oh, even cows? You get 20 gold? Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. Well,
I mean, the last time when I tested it was on cows as well. Maybe they nerfed it secretly.
now, with the horseman, you can already see a little bit of idle time. You forced out 3 different units. A knight, 2 knights, a spearman and an archer. So I definitely feel like these 2 horses, they've paid off already. But there's more coming. And you can see he's using them to actually push the deer in. And you guys can see we've been following this knight's journey the whole time. And honestly, he has not had much success.
Not really, and he made it early on as well, right? He made a knight, and after that he made the scouts.
He did, however, just kill 1 single villager, so that definitely feels good, but that's a knight that's completely out of commission at this point. Now, JD does look like she wants to move a little bit out, but we can see with this prowess that ANOCHAD has on the map, he's kind of... With the horseman, he's putting a lot of pressure down. With these 2 low HP ones, he wants to keep them far away from the knights. But at the same time, we have the boys. And Corvinus, do you think we're going to be seeing any gulps today?
I don't think so. I think Gulp is a really nice landmark, but as I know ANOCHAD, he will still go with the Golden Horde Tower.
Because of the insane value of it? Or do you think there's more?
Yes, correct. Because I think the Gulp is not bad, but when you get to the action of fighting with a lot of units against a lot of units, then it's not really as good.
Okay. Well, Wham on this side, he does look like he wants to move out. The thing is, if he stays in his base, he knows he's just going to lose all of the value from the professional scouts. So getting that little bit of raiding is definitely going to... he's hoping for it to pay off. But we do see the Keshiks, which are basically the budget knights, who are going to be having their own little journey into the base pretty soon. We'll get our second camera on them in a second, so that we can see if those bad boys will be getting any kills in this day and age, because there's about to be a little bit of a JD push coming out here.
I think he's trying to figure it out where he can push into his villagers. He checked the wood line on the left, but he knows the villagers are on the right, but safely checked it just in case to know if he moved or not. He did not move, but also he is not even getting any wood. Oh, now he's going. Okay, never mind.
Wham! Yeah, Anatan, on the other hand, he's already looking at castle, and I think with the amount of horsemen he's made, he's already forced his opponent...
Look.
Yeah?
Golden Horde Tower.
Yeah, of course, of course. He knows what's cooking. Now, with the Golden Horn Tower, this is definitely going to put him in a pretty good spot as far as the longer the game goes, and I think that's what a lot of people fear with JD, is that, hey, once she gets a few kills, I'm pretty much cooked. Now, the thing is, he didn't get any of those kills, and it feels like Wham has invested so much into Feudal Age, it's going to take him a while to get to that Castle Age himself. But we'll see if he decides to go for it the moment he sees the age up coming out from Anatan, by checking if he's going to queue up any more. Now, with the amount of gold we see on Anatan's side, he's already got enough gold to get his upgrades. He's got a few units to handle this. He sees the age up now as well. So, with the horses, he's going to be able to distract that army. But Wham is definitely going to try to look for some damage here. We see no extra things being queued up for him. So, it looks like he's going to be going for the Castle Age as well. Now, Corvinus, with 5 knights, I'm expecting this not to be a Royal Institute, or am I wrong?
Honestly, with you, I'm pretty sure this is more like straightforward to Guildhall. Because for 5 nights, it's not 5 nights at night, right? So, yeah, basically it's going to be a Guildhall. It's a really, really safe choice because the economical wilderness. Also, I really like the other landmark, the Royal Institute, more like on a map, but you have markets as well. So maybe you can switch on a little bit of trading, since you can activate the trade in H3, which gives you extra gold on those British traders. But I'm curious what Anatan gonna do, because he just ran out of food under his TC.
He ran out of food on his TC, and those berries are about to run out as well. And it doesn't feel like he's got any form of map control at any point here. He doesn't have a single farm to keep him going either. So I think he's banking on the ability for him to do damage to this army now, while Wham is at his weakest. But now with the Guild Hall, which he has not seen yet, I would think, that might make things a little bit harder for him. Now I want to make a pun. Now, it does look like the barracks is going to keep the spearmen hard and strong. We have our first farm coming out too, and the cataphract being the weapon of choice for this one.
I mean, if you think about it, cataphracts are really tanky boys, right? So they have the extra armor from the blacksmith, so that gives them plus extra 1 on ranged and melee armor. So it makes them really, really tanky, chunky boys. Their HP as well, right? They have a really huge HP pool.
Actually, didn't realize it was that much of a difference. 360 compared to 190. No wonder. No wonder. But okay, these are still normal Royal Knights. They're not veteran Royal Knights. When they do get their upgrades, does the difference still feel that apparent?
Yes, I think they go up to 230 or it's either 230 or 240. We're gonna check it in a second.
Okay. Oh, 230. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
230.
Now it makes a lot more sense why the cataphracts are so feared. I always thought, man, these cataphracts are really, really nice, and I never knew why they felt so good, but now I can see why. They do have...
I think the HP, right? The HP armor, and can we check if they have better attack speed as well?
Yeah, well...
Because a normal knight has 1.5.
2.12, so a little bit slower for these bad boys.
No, 1.38. The 2.12 was the torch.
Okay. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Oh my goodness. So cataphracts are, in essence, in Castle Age, they're just a little bit better.
Yeah. So they have faster attack speed, more armor, more HP. Of course, they are a little bit more expensive as well, because a normal knight would be cheaper, right? But when you have a lot of cataphracts and you just push the trample ability and those really nice catas just doing the trample, oh lord. You have to run, because if you get trampled down, sometimes you wish to have trample on your normal knights and not their charge ability.
I can imagine, because with trample, you just get to the back line that you want to actually reach. Now, by the way, we can see 2 farms being his saving grace. He's got 2 little berry patches here. He's like, I'm going to need that for a rainy day, trying to get the villagers onto some other food sources. Now, with that, he's moving out to the berries here, which is, like you said, you would want to get those mangonel towers out. The question is just, is this going to be possible? He's sending 5 boys at a time, so not being too greedy at all. But it does feel like a very scary moment for him. If he does overstep here, he could lose 5 villages in the blink of an eye, especially with the amount of knights on the map that we see.
He has to, right? Because his food is not really in the position of dictating the game. He made a good amount of units, trying to get some map control, going left, going right. He even captured one relic, but at the same time, he has to send out those units and try to achieve some map control over Wham, because if he does not, then he can go to the right side of collecting food, because as you see, his numbers are plummeting down.
Yeah.
Like 300 food per minute, there is no food gathering there.
Now that feels significant, and he feels that little bit of pressure, definitely, because, you know, he's already in a situation where he knows he's up against a pro scout player, and even though he did significantly shut down the pro scouting, it does eventually come back to the base, even if you do put a lot of pressure on it. But now, we've got some arbitriers here already, and they are making these cataphracts look like they're made of paper. We do see a few more villages out on the berries, though, and I'm a little bit scared for their lives, though, because that's a very big army from Wham.
Yeah, he need more towers to beat this army. And at the same time, I think Wham already thinking to go Imperial with his guild hall. Can we check how much resource he gathered up in the guild hall?
Mm-hmm. He's still a little way off, 600 at the moment. But it does...
600, so... Let's say in 3 minutes or 4, he will get the food out and he will build a red palace in the middle. That's the correct move, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna do that.
And it feels like landmark like the Red Palace is definitely so strong here because it requires so much investment to take it down. And in that time, he will easily just be able to sit back, relax, and get the resources in the middle. But now this is the problem with you going out on the map for these. We can see now the outpost here only getting the mangonel emplacement and not the armor, which is going to be a problem. These guys do not see their next targets though, and it feels like ANOCHAD is running back to just try and find some damage. But Wham, he's probably pretty happy with this trade now. The mangonel emplacement does look like it's going to go up. The knights do not find the victims on this side just yet, but they will run into a mangonel tower pretty soon. This is going to be a pretty important fight here, especially as JD is going to be snacking a lot of experience, and this could push her to level 3.
I appreciate the idea from ANOCHAD, but the problem was that it didn't came online in time. At the same time, he is on Hippodrome, but mostly he has infantry units, right? He has more infantry than cavalry units right now. Mm-hmm. So it's like kind of waste of opportunity, of waste of chance of using the strong Hippodrome. And I don't even know, did he even use the Hippodrome, or how much stack do we have on the Triumph?
I'm going with no. 42 feels like a pretty big number to have. Yes. Yes.
That's almost the full, because 45 is the full number. So yes, that's not being used.
And it does look like getting 2 more villager kills here is pretty significant. This is going to be so hard for him to come back on, I would say, because you're playing against JD, which now starts to snowball, right? Byzantines is also a
Almost.
civilization. Close enough. Yeah, they're a civilization that snowballs, but usually you need a little bit more of an economy to do that snowballing mechanism. It does look like he's trying to get there, but this army, he's gonna need a nuclear bomb to shut this down. He says actually a cataphracts might be one of those nuclear bombs.
I mean, I wonder now, because the more we go into this game, the better chances for Ram as well to get the Red Palace into the middle, because the guild hall is just producing food right now. It's just collecting. And when Vam feels like, he's just gonna push out the food and boom. Oh, yo, that's a lot of food in the guild hall.
That's
good.
That's going to be a very difficult thing to shut down, because it just doesn't look like he has any army to contest this. Now, he does lose another villager out here in the middle of the map, the tower. Ooh. I was going to say that this villager just was able to run back to the town and tell the tale, but you can see ANOCHAD, he's kind of starving at the moment. Taking risky positions like this out on the map is only done by a very, very desperate Byzantines. Now, he's got a few farms. It does feel like he should be able to capitalize on that for a while, but it's not going to be enough to shut down this very massive army. And it does look like Wham, he's very close to this.
At the same time, Vam already did a little bit of Vam transition, right? So he has the Vam transition, we can say that. He already has some villagers on farm, which is really nice. But at the same time, ANOCHAD is on 2 TC while Vam is still on 1 TC.
And that probably is how he made up with those villager losses he had in the early game. Because as we can see, ANOCHAD did get those 8 villagers taken down by Wham. And now he knows I'm going to go find more kills. The thing is, I don't even think he knows about the second TC. So ANOCHAD, this will probably put him in an okay position after a while. It does look like the Keshiks are in position to do some damage to this, and we know what magic Mangonel towers can perform. The thing is, we've got a lot of units here in the middle, and Corvinus, I think you called it. It's about time for the boys to hammer down on a Red Palace.
And it's really good, because he can even protect it, right? He has 18 military units on the field, which is really nice for it. Oh, yeah, those Keshiks. Those Keshiks are really not in the correct position.
Those Keshiks need to be in a little bit more of an aggressive position to actually make something happen, or not to deny anything here, but it does look like it will go up, just like you will if you get on board with hymns. So make sure, guys, to check out the link in the chat if that has ever been a problem for you to get up those red palaces in the middle of the map. Oh my god.
Okay, that was good. That was actually good.
That was impromptu as well, Corvinus. Oh my god. Okay, now, it does feel like Wham could have probably committed a little bit harder here onto the berries with secure damage and no real risk, right? So, that's, I guess, the big question. Is Wham gonna be far enough ahead to make Imperial Age work for him? But we'll see now. I mean, there's 3 golds in the middle, and he's got all 3 of them. Anadon, on the other hand, he's got 0 vills on gold, and I'm guessing that is for one reason and one reason only, and it's because the gold has been depleted.
Now, what he is really trying to do is set up like a crazy amount of farm and maybe sell the olive oil, because the only good thing with the Byzantine that nobody has access to the olive oil, right? So what you can do is actually manipulate the market anytime, sell your olive oil to get gold.
Yeah. Alright, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And with olive oil, it's not like anyone's gonna be manipulating the market, like you said. No, he is floating a lot of food here, and that spells one thing and one thing only. Foreign engineering school, right? Foreign... Oh, did I just miss that? No, foreign engineering company. I put Palatine school and foreign engineering company all together, Corvinus. I think I lost it, man.
Well, I don't think he will go Palatine school. Maybe, but let's
of course not.
think.
Of course not.
Let's just think about it. Foreign agent company will enable him to get boot camp on the Gulam, to be a little bit stronger Kashik, and on the elephant there is nothing. So you don't need foreign engineering company for the elephant because it will work without it. But with foreign engineering company, you will get access to make siege, which is not bad, right? Palatine School is like a gambling landmark, since you have a 30% chance of getting an extra unit or not. So maybe you have a really good 30% chance to get 5 extra, let's say, Limitai, or 5 extra Cutterfrog, or 5 extra Ram, or 5 extra Warangan Guard, but maybe you don't get at all because the 30% didn't really came into the picture. So it's really a gambling landmark, but if you are, unlucky, then just don't gamble then.
Now with foreign engineering company, I can definitely see a good choice like an Nest of Bees coming through for this scenario. Because with the amount of horses you have here, you just probably do not want to take a risk to lose anything that quickly, like a cannon with the horses that can easily collapse on you. Now we'll see what the choice is pretty soon, but it can also deal with those masses. If he does, yeah, the Nest of Bees gets chosen, and it feels like the safe choice, and definitely the one that can make that impact we talked about with this huge amount of units on his side of the map. Annochad now waiting for those upgrades, and we see the elite contract also getting upgraded now, but the gold is scarce, and he's definitely trying to make things work. You can see with monasteries, he's got 4 relics in there, so that is a little bit of a secured gold income, and his villagers are still living their best life over here.
Also, if you think about it, for some unknown reason, I don't know if it was intended or not. Let's say it was intended. The Byzantine Nest of Bees are actually much weaker Nest of Bees than the Chinese or the Zushi. And the Mongol Nest of Bees are the same strength as the Chinese Nest of Bees. So I don't know if it was an oversight or just the devs didn't want it to buff the Nest of Bees for Byzantine. But those Nest of Bees are actually much weaker, and it's much better if you make Bombard or Hui Pao out of the landmark.
Interesting. I didn't know that they actually had differences in them. Huh. And that is why Corvinus knows everything.
At least it sounds like it can be a show, right?
Yeah.
That's why Corvinus does everything. Sounds like a show name.
Honestly, the facts that you spew sometimes, oh my god. The man's hungry if he's already almost depleted one of those golds. A few villagers do get signed up for a little bit of a slaughter here. And unfortunately, he says let the bodies hit the floor, and they do. A few men will not be returning to the homes. They will just be on the ground. Poor guys. Get up! Get up, we say.
I'm sure they're just, sleeping, having fun on the ground, just counting the amount of grass. So nothing happened. Or they are maybe trying to find hymns.
Finding hymns to find a reason to get up again. No, man. It feels like he's just setting the pace of this. You can see the poor Nest of Bees came out, and as quickly as he came, he's going back to the graveyard. And the rest of the boys are going to try and chase after this. But when you have a very mobile composition like that, it's so difficult to shut down.
Well, those knights are doing some dirty jobs on those farmers. And at the same time, JD is just getting some little horses. Also, he doesn't let him to uncapture those sacred sites, because Wham is really looking for some sacred site victory.
Getting 6 minutes on the sacred sites already is pretty massive, but Annochad, he does have a little bit of military prowess right now, and he's decided to take a note from this very mobile army and find the mobility himself. So getting a lot of horses out here. And you mentioned earlier about him not having the cavalry. What's happening here? He's also not getting the upgrade. So what is Annochad cooking, Corvinus? Do you know what's about to happen? Like, with this build, is there a shenanigan we don't know about on ladder yet?
That's a really good question, because at the same time, he just activated Triumph. The question is, why did he activate Triumph? Is he even using it on any unit in any fight? Because that's a really weird time to activate the ability, right? Because he's not even fighting with his horses. he's sending 1 or 2, but would you really activate Triumph on 1 horseman, right? He now arrives to the base of Wham with a few horsemen, but the Triumph ability is soonishly running out, and he got the upgrade on the horseman to get extra gold for... Okay, that's a good one.
Finally, a reason was found in the horses with their HP ticking right above them. They make it out alive. Every single ticket was used. Poor guy. No more tickets for the horses. They get they're a one pump chump here, unfortunately. Those tickets are going to take a long time to replenish. Unlike you, if you consult hymns, well, you might find the answer that's right for you.
Don't forget, prove yourself. Don't be a Triumph. Use hymns today.
Oh my goodness. Okay, see, I knew this would be fun with AoE. When I got the notice about hymns, I was like, this sounds like it could be pretty Monka-esque. But honestly, AoE making things great again. Now, it does feel like these cannons, though, they are going to be hard to shut down, as these horsemen number they have not been increasing, but the Limitanes, on the other hand. Now, guys, those bad boys don't cost gold, and when you need this many, he can make it. Look at those Nest of Bees as well. This could be a deadly shot. Okay, no, those were some very sad shots.
You know, the fun factor as well, that how he gonna deal with the crossbows, right? Because the crossbow kind of have 10 melee armor, so if Van just stands there and just doesn't move, doesn't do anything, he would not even lose a single crossbow to the spearman.
But with the Nest of Bees, they do make it viable in this case.
I mean, he could have just used the bomber, right, to snipe out those Nest of Bees. But wait, did Vam forgot the armor upgrade on the crossbow, or why they are getting so much damage?
No. It does look like...
Oh, he doesn't have it. So that's why he's receiving so much damage.
And just like that, you can turn a fight by having a lot of Limitanes. And it feels like those raids that ANOCHAD did, it definitely paid off. It feels like there's this little power spike that we didn't know about. JD, though, that power spike is about to hit very, very soon if these fights keep going.
Which is interesting, honestly, because Vam never forgets the French crossbow upgrade, right? Because they're supposed to have 10 armor right now, but they are on 2, so it's sadly a missight from Vam to have those really gigachat crossbows, right? But I believe he's still in a better position, and you're asking me, why is he in a better position? Well, he has the middle, and he just get rid of 1 large gold already.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's on the second one, and it's already halfway too. So this man has been using his gold. The thing is, this doesn't feel like a guy who had 12,000 more gold, right? The economic stance of him, where he is in this game, it just doesn't feel that way at the moment. It feels like ANOCHAD definitely has his foot on solid ground here. He is on the back foot, but he's still holding strong. And now, Corvinus, I would really like to get some coaching from you in this scenario. What's the difference between a real cannon and a cannon in this matchup right now?
It's only mostly the base damage, and you don't have the ability on the cannon, right? So the Royal Cannon has the big shot ability, which is insanely strong. It's crazy, because you can activate that ability without vision, and when you hit a target, you also get vision on the target for 5 seconds. So you can hit a Red Palace in 15 tiles of range with 30 extra damage, which also calculates to the bonus damage. But in this scenario, Cannon versus Royal Cannon, is that the fact that Royal Cannon has more damage.
Okay, and it does look like, oh, one of these bad boys will go down, and that is a massive pickup, because as we can see, ANOCHAD, he doesn't have a lot of oil laying around. He's using every bit of resource he has, and it looks like more Arbiters are joining. Now, my question is just, does he realize the armor situation he's in? It doesn't look like
I
it.
hope so, because if he just gets the armor upgrades that he's missing, the unique upgrade for the crossbow, then he would be not really scared of... He got the attack speed, but not the armor?
Yeah. He's like, that he's not gonna have enough units to get on top of me. But I feel
Which is
like
interesting because he got the attack speed because you can see like it's missing from the archery range, which means his crossbows are shooting faster. But I wonder what happened. How did he got distracted on the fact that he should get the extra armor upgrade as well? And at the same time, he's not getting a single blacksmith upgrade. He just got past to ranged attack, and after that, he said, "All right, that's enough for me. I don't care about any other upgrades."
that's actually interesting. We did see this from a few players as well. A lot of people were like, "Oh no, blacksmith upgrades not that important." But especially, I don't know, there was a handful of civs where we did not see them as much. Now we'll see if they do make a difference because it feels like there's a big fight coming here. Now, with the horses, they are still going to look for some gold ticks. I realized that this could be a pretty solid gold income if Anatan treats it right. The TC, though, it's gonna fire back if they do step into the lands, right? So, this keeps the army busy, and it ensures that JD does not stand on the front lines, just causing all that pressure. But Anatan now trying to get a little bit of vision, too. He has worked his way around the berries. We do see biology also coming through for him on the university, and that is quite fun.
I wonder how did he got the gold, because he has 4 relics, which is pumping gold, yes, but I'm pretty sure he sold some resources to make sure he can get those upgrades. I don't know if he has a market, but if he has a market, can we check if he did anything with the olive oil after that?
Okay, let's check. I will go and find the market while we look at the fight. There is a market at the back, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly where it is. It's just sitting there at the base, and we will check those resources in a moment. But it does look like this is a pretty big commitment. And just like you said with those royal cannons, they are making quick work of the Red Palace. It looks like it's made of paper.
Yes, like literally, because of the extra damage, it's even easier for the Royal Cannon to destroy the Red Palace. That's why he had a really good time, a really easy time to destroy the Red Palace with the Royal Cannon. And also, when he's losing his own cannons, like you can see how important it is to get the extra armor with the French crossbow. Because without the extra armor, they are just little paper.
Every bit of this game went towards Wham. It felt like Wham was taking the pace of this game. He held it, and he was just able to push, and until Anatan just turned it around. And this is honestly, I'm completely baffled. If you asked me 10 minutes ago, is Anatan gonna win this? I would have said no. Not even a bit, but Wham! He just couldn't hold the Byzantines' pump. That is wild. That was wild, Commodus. Oh my goodness.
He turned it around and showed the other face.
Without any gold. He tapped out those 2 gold mines, and after that, it was tickets. Absolutely, literal tickets, because he had to use all his tickets for the horses. Maybe that last horse ticket click was the play that he was looking for. Let's see, the villager count. Yeah, those little raids. Not really doing that much damage, but definitely getting his attention away. Just like you said, he might have just been distracted, forgotten something because of, you know, the intense raiding from Anatan. Honestly, Anatan shocked me here. I didn't know this was possible.
Well, neither me. Well, not really using the hippodrome while he got for it. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure, I'm not really sure if he used the hippodrome in that last fight.
Mm-hmm.
But if he used it, you know, it was a really good triumphing.
A very good triumph. Nice, Corvinus. Now, guys, hold on. There's a helicopter above my house. Oh no, it's not loud enough. Helicopter. So we are going to go into the next match now. They're 2 minutes in, so we did give them a little bit of barriers so we would be able to catch up on them live. And the next game is going to be on Kawasan against Knights Templar and Ayyubids. But before we do, I would just like to take a moment to make sure to mention the sponsor of the show match. Okay, I need to say this, and I do it with a straight face because I love AOE puns, and this is just too funny. It's live. It is live. So, today, whether it's early aggression or a long imperial grind, make sure you are built to last. Let's go meet the players in Game 2. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is with hymns. Out of wood, hymns and Knights Templar will help you harvest what really matters. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let your performance stall like those Nesta B shots in the last game. And now, let's go into game number 2. Pretty soon, I just need to click the observe button. I thought I did, but I had too much fun commenting. Oh my god. When I saw that so many of the AoE streamers got approached by the hymns thing, I thought it was really funny that we, the whole AoE community, we're all centered around the ability to get some wood. And now you know why. Yo. Let's go on in, boys. It's game number 2.
Yay, now I see.
So, Corvinus, we have Knights Templar on water. Do you have any final thoughts for this poor man who's about to face off against the doom?
Knight Templar versus the Ibid. It's a really interesting choice from ANOCHAD. Because you can either play Ibid, Abbasid, Chinese Zushi, or Knights Templar. But I feel like just Knights Templar is so insanely broken, strong, crazy civilization. Why they can eat
while they would
and eat food, right? So are they getting the the little bugs out of the tree while chewing on the bark on the tree?
Okay, Corvinus, I know this is gonna sound inappropriate, but sometimes all you need is the wood.
Wow.
Yeah, what can I say?
You mean early wood?
Early wood. That's exactly what Wham went for. He went for the early wood lines or the early wood, and you can see the food sticking, baby. He needs nothing else. And except for some sheep. Sheep would be very nice as a scout enjoyer, I would say. But also knowing what your opponent is doing.
Is it okay? What is this for ANOCHAD? Let's think about it, because Vamp went clearly for water. ANOCHAD did not go for water, so I'm trying to. Oh yo! That was. Whew.
Luckily,
he got almost the wood.
So we've been seeing a lot of culture wing, but we've also seen military wing and castle quite often. So I'm not expecting any camel action in feudal age, but we have been seeing a lot of advancement. But we're already past that point. So he's going economic industry. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, ANOCHAD is a man who doesn't need some extra wood. He just gets it from his civilization. Upon completion, awards 350 wood, and villagers build faster. So that is just going to result in what we will call the counter dock. The counter dock brought to you by ANOCHAD. ANOCHAD, in this case. I just need to stop all
Listen, if you don't have enough wood, or if you need more banking into your wood, then just use Hymns Industry.
Hymns Industry brought to you by ANOCHAD. Now, honestly, getting a dock on your opponent's side, very standard. A lot of people will go for this type of play, right? But the question is just, is Wham going to be able to handle this? I feel like with the resources, he's very far away from aging up. And the moment that ANOCHAD ages up, with the 8 on food, he's already getting himself ready to be able to afford that first ship.
That's a spearman.
That is a spearman.
That's a pointy boy, but the dog goes up. Dog goes up. Go up. Straight up.
Straight up,
That's
boys.
what I'm talking about. Let's go. The dog is up. The villager is down.
Yeah, the villager. If he only... Oh, he's taking down sheep with him. He's like, I'm not gonna go down alone, ladies and gentlemen.
And the funny thing, he was literally facing forward to the sheep carcass. So, what are you doing there, Steps villager?
Step villager. He wants it to make it count. ANOCHAD, though, he's waiting for 15 seconds to get that age up. And the thing is, the moment he hits it, he's going to be able to get that ship out. Because it... Oh, and you can see Wham already pre-splitting the spearman. And that just shows us the difference between me on the ladder and Wham on the ladder. Because he knows the moment that military ship comes out, he is going to be attacked. So Corvinus, is this also something you do? Are you big brain enough for this?
Split up the unit, of course, of course. The reason behind that, because there is a really good clip I just uploaded to YouTube like a week ago, where one player was not really a conqueror, let's say that around diamond or low conqueror. He was torching the dog on one side with all of his unit. I just made a demo ship and boom.
Oh my god.
He had no unit after that.
Disgusting. Now, 350 wood. That doesn't feel like it went very far for Annochad right now. It got him a ship. Or 2 ships, actually. No, never mind. Never mind. We have 2 ships. We have a second... No, never mind. He definitely made use of the wood. Very nice. So...
Yeah, but you forgot something, women. It's not just 350 wood.
It's
extra...
building speed?
Building speed, yes. You can check on the villager if you click on it, but I'm pretty sure it's like 35%.
Yeah, it's 30%. Oh, let me see. Oh, villager can... it doesn't tell us.
I'm pretty sure it's like either 30 or 35%, which is really, really nice. Not as strong when he's going into castle. I think it's 30%. Not as strong when he's going to castle or imperial with the industry, but still a faster production, like building everything much, much faster. That's really good on building TCs or keeps or any kind of building, of course, but the best for keeps or TCs, since those building takes a lot of time to build, right? So when you get that, it's much, much faster.
So even if you then lose the water in the end, getting a second TC is not something that is unheard of. I want to point out here, I don't know if this just happened or if I mislooked, but I think Annochad just cancelled his springald ship that he was making from this dock. Because...
Oh, that's a misclick.
Oh, yeah, he's just getting the vibes ready. But you could see he was making a springald ship. He realized he was going to lose this water, and he just forced his opponent to invest a little bit more onto this pond. Now, he's going to get the water up and running here. The food economy is going to look wonderful. And Annochad's, he's definitely still on the wood, though, so I don't know if he's going to stop this. Doesn't look like Wham has any crazy things planned just yet. Let's go look at those military buildings now. Hospitalier Knights, though. They do seem quite pesky, but the spearmen doing some work. We also see from Annochad's side, he's getting a stable now. So getting desert raiders out of these, definitely going to be valuable, especially when you just need to push off a few spearmen.
That's really nice, because what you can do if you have a few hospitalier knight, that you can just put them on hold position and they will automatically heal the closest target. Because on attack move, they are not healing, right? So they are not even thinking about healing or anything like that. But when you put them on hold position and the units are very close, then they just bring out their staff from their pocket, just like when I use hymns, and they are hitting up those archers.
Okay, I'm having too much fun. Annochad, he is making more units though. He's like, I've got a little bit of food, let me make a few of these camels and then I'm going to show you what the early game pressure is. Because I feel like with Knights Templar, if you do not shut them down early on, it does get very quick for them to snowball and you to really struggle to stop them. Now it does look like these hardened spearmen, they're hardened, you guys. These guys use hymns. And they will not be hardened for long, though, because the camel, he's just got so much more power.
Oh, women, can we change the players? Because it's very confusing me from the top, like which player on which side.
Okay, I'll switch it for you. I just need our scores to also be flipped around. So
no, score is good. Score is good.
Oh, the score's good? No!
Yeah.
Wham did not win game 1.
Oh, there you go. Okay, Tommy, come on, dude.
It's quick. No, it does look like with the scouts, he's trying to see what is cooking, and I feel like Wham responded in sorts. A lot of people, they see, okay, my opponent made a few camels, let me just go Castle Age and call it a day, but Wham responding pretty quickly here, getting a lot of archers to handle what Annochad has on offer. Now the thing is, he's also going for a horseman. Great switch up here, especially in the scenario, and getting a blacksmith behind this as well.
But right now, I feel like Vem is insanely ahead. Like insanely ahead compared to ANOCHAD. In army as well, army number, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like economical as well. Even if ANOCHAD tries to go Castle right now, he would be instantly dead. Like, I'm
And
telling you.
honestly, Corvinus, it does feel like he's edging that way, though. Look at this. It looks like he is banking on quite a few of these bad boys, because there's a lot of resources in the bank, and he doesn't have enough to constantly produce these camels. The Desert Raiders, though, they do come out, and we'll see if he overcommits. He needs to be so careful with this, because one misclick and they are gonzo. And you can see he's trying to get a little bit of damage here on the side too. He did lose a camel here, but it's just because Wham's presence is so prominent on this map right now. You can also see only having 3 gold here because he's got a little sneaky gold over here. He's still thinking about castle behind this. But you said he's dead. I honestly think he's in a lot of danger.
Well, I really can't see the problem of them, losing this game, because I'm pretty sure he is not even close to lose this game. ANOCHAD is still far away from the castle. Wham just can decide to make a few ram, right? And just push right into his base, or push into the second, the pawn on the right. And you know what's so crazy to see? Wham, not really crazy, because the Van walls are coming up, and on the left side, where he has a second side for himself, so he can just get the pilgrims there and, get the juice out of it.
He's going to milk these pilgrims, definitely, Corvinus. Very well done. But military wing reinforcement comes out. Now, the question is, with these camels that he gets, he's going to get 3 Desert Raiders every 2 minutes. How long does he need to hold to be able to stop this? Because this is a massive push. We see +1 range defense now in. He's started firing these Hospitalier Knights. And they are taking a bit of damage, but look at those camels. Just a little bit of overextension, and they're already taking so much damage. He does get to pick off a few of these, but he does need to be careful. And you can see he's respecting this, and he needs to. Now, smart move, though, putting this outpost so close to the TC, because this is honestly keeping it safe for just a little bit longer. He's got 2 of these bad boys at the back, trying to find some damage, but honestly, it looks like he's putting everything into microing this right now.
Well, I can tell you that, even if the next stage will go in, it will take a lot of time to get enough Desert Raider to destroy that army. But looks like Wham is choosing the safer kind of play to go up to the next stage as well. But I'm not sure. I feel like if he just decided to attack ANOCHAD's base with a few ram, maybe, let's say 1 or 2 ram, and just ram around the base, just do more aggression, he could have killed him feudal. But he decided to go to castle himself as well. Also, he researched level 2 pilgrim, so he's getting 2 really buffed up pilgrim, because do not forget, he went up with these little chunky men-at-arms into the feudal age that also gives extra HP to the villagers and the pilgrim.
Now, look at how he knows there's an economy. He just doesn't know where it could be. He's looked around every woodline. He saw the goal. He's like, I know your villages are here somewhere. A market for ANOCHAD as well. He's gonna get these Desert Raiders upgraded. And after that, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be getting Camel Lancers. And you guys, these guys have massive Lancers. So when those boys start charging, that is going to be a destruction. Now he does need to be careful. Every Desert Raider counts. And we do have a follow on that army of Desert Raiders. And you can see everything going into the micro of those. He realizes I need a little bit of wood as well. And goes onto the wood to make more of those bad boys too.
Well, I can tell you that it will be a really strong push, but he doesn't have enough production building, right? Mm-hmm. So he needs more production building to get those units out in time, because one of them is upgrading, one of them is making units. He's getting a few extra Desert Raider for free. But I feel like that's just not enough units on the field. Wham hits the castle age and he will upgrade everything.
Now, Wham instantly queuing up the archer upgrade. He knows how important that's going to be. ANOCHAD, on the other hand, is like, I need to get that economy upgrades. They are definitely going to matter here. He knows he just needs to sit back and let the numbers do the talking. And the more he forces Wham back into his base, the more time he gets. Now, it doesn't look like he is forcing him too hard, because apparently these archers are not a target. He's got the lancers heading straight for the base because he knows where the damage is. The problem is just this base feels very dangerous. Oh.
I can tell you that if he can't stay mounted that long, so you can. So can you as well with him.
Confidence. Oh my goodness, I just love how you're sneaking them in there every time. They catch me off guard. I'm expecting them and they're still catching me off guard. Now, I just want to point out, Wham is a little bit further ahead in villagers, which means it's over here onto the Zavota, which means he's eventually going to start overfishing and getting a lot of idle time on these fishing boats. So I don't know if that is already the case, but that could slow down this very, very heavy push. Losing a unit like that, though, that is a massive pickup. A few more villages are in danger. He does lose another one, and the army should start to rotate to the other side, but he's got the camels at the ready, and Anatan believes in this camel-only army. After this game, I might too.
Well, you know what they say about this situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
He's pulling out the camel lancers because sometimes regular units just aren't firm enough. Right? That's what they say.
Listen, no more premature GG. Stay in the game with him.
And that he will. He did not GG when he realized he was outnumbered. He stayed in because Anatan, he knows when to pull out, he knows when to stay in, and he knows when he needs a little bit of time to get ready. And he got himself that time by delaying his opponent and going into the base, causing a little bit of a disruption. Now, just as the time hits right, he's pulling out, ensuring that those units stay alive for longer with him.
Okay, that's good. Well, what is the relic situation? One relic for Vam and still 0 relic for Anatan. That's really interesting. Because he has the dervishes, which are losing so many camels just like that. And he might lose another dervish, which is like... Well, see, like, do you see what is the problem with Knights Templar and water? I'm pretty sure you can see right now. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Like, eating the wood, eating the food at the same time, right? Eating wood food, and you get the fishing ship, and you get the wood, and you get the food, and everything together, just mixing up. Then you have those pesky little archers that you can just spam crazily, because your wood gathering is insanely good. And then you get the pilgrims. Oh lord, the pilgrims just going in and giving you all the gold you need. And look at the situation right now. 80 military compared to the 20, 90 military compared to the 20. It's crazy. Anatan is trying to do some damage inside Vam's base, and Vam is trying to do some damage inside Anatan base. But I can tell you that one player will rise the flag, and it was Vam.
It will not be Anatan this time. Wham staying strong, but I have to say, the only thing that hits harder than those camel lancers is him's discreet shipping. So if you don't want people to know around you, don't worry. They ship very discreetly. So now the AU-bit power spike. People talk about that, right? It's the thing is, it's more like an all-night power ride. Thanks to hard mints from Hims. And guys, that will bring us into game number 3. And I feel like these puns are just like, bah, bah, bah. They're just flying off of me. This might be my calling, Corvinus. I just need to be able to do it with a straight face as well.
Listen, I have to tell you that. If your villager can build a wonder, but you... Okay, I ruined it. I put this together in my head, but let me say it again. Okay, I put it together in my head. So, if your villager can build a wonder, but you can't even raise a tent, it's time to use hymns. Here you go.
I knew you would love these puns. So, just so you guys know, I don't know if we mentioned to Wham that this is a him-sponsored show match. I did mention to Anatan though, and he's like, "Of course I will do it. It is amazing. I can just play my game and show them how good I am." And I'm really glad because Anatan, ANOCHAD, he's wonderful. He knows exactly where his performance is, just like you do if you get a consultation through him. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be it for now, and we're going to go focus on the AoE because that is where our focus is at, and that is where Wham and Anatan's focus will be at when they are playing in the next EGC tournament already. Now guys, these two have already qualified for the Masters of Steel, so we will be seeing them pending Anatan's visa in Copenhagen. And we wanted to see a little bit about what these top dogs can do, because Wham qualified in qualifier number 1, I believe, and Anatan on the second one. So now we want to see if those first qualification matches say something. Now we do have the EGC tournament coming up as well pretty soon, which is going to be wild because these guys are going to be fighting it out online, and literally a week later they'll be in Copenhagen doing it again. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hop in to game number 3. Woo! Chinese, Corvinus! Hell yeah! Can you tell me a little bit about that China?
I can tell that they are not ordering from the restaurant called Wang, but it's very fine. So, we have yellow color Chinese on the left side of the map called the ANOCHAD.
The ANOCHAD. And ANOCHAD... Ooh, I need to flip these boys around. Just remember, flip the score, Tommy. So, Anatan, he got China. And now, I know what a lot of you guys are gonna say. China. It's one of the strongest civilizations out there right now.
Well, I can argue that a little bit. It's not bad. It's insanely strong. But I would rather pick HR or Rus over China.
Well, that makes sense. But were they even allowed? Let me see the draft quickly. Because, you know, those civilizations you mentioned, they are always banned. And
there's a reason for it, right? There's a reason for it. So, I mean, China is good, but I'm not really scared if I see China, because, you know, then I'm gonna pick Order of okay, I don't know. I don't pick Order of Dragon. It's supposed to be the counter to China because it's like HRE. But when it comes to Imperial and you get the Chinese hand cannoneer and they have those long ranges, then it's kind of Order of Delete, not Order of the Dragon.
Now, I think this could have been a little bit of a brain out counter picking situation, right? Because, oh, I missed this completely. Oh my goodness, guys, I apologize. That is my very bad observation because I'm just yapping with Corvinus here. So, the thing is, I am a little bit worried because I think Anatan picked China into something such as Rus, for example. Because as far as I know, China deals pretty well with Rus, correct?
Kind of like, yeah, because the Chiganyu has a really good time against the horse archers, and you can do like a Chiganyu Nest of Beast push on it. So that could be really, really nice. And also the fast rolling, the barbecue, and all the other things, they can easily match with the against the Rus.
I haven't seen anything like it. A sheep kill instead of just a deer kill. Instead of taking the wild animals, he takes the tame ones as well.
The wild sheep.
The wild sheep. Now, that's the thing. I think with Anatan's pick or with Wham's pick here, he may have also just picked the civilization because he's like, okay, he's obviously going to pick China into my Rus. So let me play Order of the Dragon and see what I can do with that. We've been seeing some pretty crazy things coming out of Order of the Dragon, notably on water maps instead. But I don't know, I feel like Wham has the ability to turn a game on its head pretty quickly. Especially with him going for the Arcane Chapel, I feel like this is the more safe play that allows you to keep up with that Chinese economy, right? Or is it...
Yeah, and I can tell you that they really learned a lot from Vortex and Lucifer to make sure you build everything around the Arcane Chapel. Yeah. So that's a really good practice. It just has the house literally there.
I actually saw that as well. I think a lot of people might not just be used to the fact that on Order of the Dragon you have the Arcane, so they're just like, oh, gotta put my buildings, sir. So
I need to calculate it, but I did not. Oh wait, why is he on berries? That's interesting choice from Wham. That's
now
interesting.
he doesn't have a
He
lot
has,
of sheep here, but maybe he's trying to extend the food source for as much as possible because he could potentially not want to be rushing out units.
but it's still interesting, right? Like I did not see anyone going early berries yet with OTD, even though they get very very fast, right? And also, so why is it so good with Delhi to get their berries? First of all, because they get a raid. Second of all, the extra capacity. Well, OTD and gilded villagers have extra capacity as well. So it's just like Delhi villagers or any berry brothers villagers that gathering berries much faster. They kind of work the same, not really the same, but because you can't increase the berry food, right? So it's gonna be only 250, not 350. But I'm really interested because I see something new that I see something new that never got pulled off of OTD or HRE before on a show match or a tournament game.
So you would say that this is the first time you've seen it. That is actually pretty surprising. I'm actually very surprised that you said that this is the first time you see it because I don't know. Okay, with Order of the Dragon, sure. But after seeing how many sheep he got, I feel a little bit worried for him because this doesn't feel like a situation where I was gonna say him getting that tower on gold spelled something completely different for me. And it seemed like, oh, he's probably going fast castle, but with the amount of food this man has, he's not going anywhere fast. He is just going for the pro scouts. Now, against China as well, that is a very tough position to put yourself in. Especially a China who opted not to go for pro scouts, but rather just to go for a ton of units instead.
Which again, it doesn't really make sense. You could have just eat up the sheep because you're gonna get pro scout anyway, right? So that's why I a little bit I have a question mark over at the top of my head because I don't understand, right? And now those villagers need to move back. I don't know what's happening. So Vam is going pro scout, right? So Anotent going feudal aggression, but at the same time, not a single archer or Manatom or anything like that. So if Anotent goes all in right now, oh no, he goes. Oh yeah, he goes. Oh yeah. That's I've seen those games a lot. And I can tell you that when the Chinese goes without Song Dynasty, because I'm pretty sure he has no Song Dynasty, he just made the archer, made the spearman, made the blacksmith, just put IO here, IO there. And that's gonna be a really strong feudal push with the Chinese. 7 minutes in, rep is done, time to push that tower right now.
And a lot of civilizations are not even emotionally prepared for this. And I think Wham is definitely on one of those civs. One of the civs that doesn't handle this too well just because of that pure lack of units as well pretty early on. Now he does pull them out and he tries to do a little bit of damage, but probably men-at-arm, the safest play he could go for here. Now the archers do pop out and they target that spearman. That is a very expensive unit to lose, but it doesn't look like he's losing it. The men-at-arm is doing so much work. And Wham is investing in +1 range defense because he can see exactly what's coming.
I can tell you that it was such a nice and good move from Wham to just protect the tower, right? Send some men at arms because OTD HRE can pull the immediately repair, right? The emergency repair on the tower, and after that they have no problem at all, which is amazing. But the question is, what is the next move from Anoten? Is he gonna make more rams? Oh no, he went professional scout. Oh my god, I'm so interested in this game because now we have professional scout from Anoten.
Now, he knows how many units he has, and he knows that he can shut down most of the deer trying to make its way back. But the thing is, he's still rallying his units one by one, and this is usually a little bit of a problem when you are playing in something like Order of the Dragon that has these very, very chunky units.
Yes, but at the same time, the Chinese is really famous of just spamming out units like crazy, crazy, crazy. Because if you think about it, the amazing landmark from the China generates insane amount of taxes on the military buildings and on the mill. Now, if we pro scout the deer to the mill, that's even more crazier, right? Because you get the extra taxes on that mill, and you don't need to get her gold at all. And he does not get her gold, and he has almost 600 by just collecting the taxes. That's insane. Oh, he's stealing the deer.
Pure existence, and he gets it. Now, this shows exactly why Wham is a Chad. He made that 1 minute on. He was able to micro it perfectly fine, get the spearman in and out of the tower, and just like that, all of a sudden, ANOCHAD is on the back foot, even though he looked like he was very confident pushing in there.
I mean, the idea of making Manatorms from Wham was really good, but if ANOCHAD gets a crazy amount of archer and micros it very well, then he can just snipe out those Manatorms without a problem, right? Wham, on the second hand, don't forget, he's almost Castle Age. If the burger goes up, he will burger on their ass.
And getting a burger on Order of the Dragon has been pretty much the standard because of the value that you get from it. And that's exactly what we're going to be seeing. He is going to be serving us some burgers. Guys, raining all the way from Canada, taking some inspiration from the neighbors and making sure that he makes the best burger in town. Hell yeah. Well, on Order of the Dragon, guys, we're going to be eating tonight. And I mean, when you are Order of the Dragon, you just get so much value from getting your units for so much cheaper. Anatan getting those deer back to his base. There was a successful yoink by Wham, but I don't know if this was enough for him. And you can see he's already doing his farm transition. We do have 2 deer under the TC here, actually. But it feels like Wham is doing a pretty good job at keeping Anatan not in castle. Now, he is not far off. Oh, and as I say that, I see 1,200 food in the bank. I do believe, however, that was a market. Yes, he did get the market. He bought some food. Smart man.
If he goes up with the burger and he queues up the upgrade inside the burger for the Manatorm, then he will get those chunky Manatorms to be Castle Manatorm very, very fast, because the burger also enables him to get the upgrades out a little bit faster, right? So he can just push in with those Manatorms, because there is no crossbow yet from Anatan. He will make in like 20-30 seconds. Of course, but right now he rather choose to protect himself rather than pushing with those Manatorms. And the castle upgrade is in.
Now, getting an castle upgrade against the very, very feudal age archers is going to be pretty decent, but the crossbows getting picked off is massive. Now, the men-at-arms, they're just hammering away. You can see these archers are they're not trying. They're just running for their damn lives at the moment. Now, Spearman on the map as well. Anatan is trying to keep Wham occupied, and he's doing a pretty good job at that. Now, this army...
Well, I can tell you that in this situation, it's still like 50-50, right, Ron? So, there is some fight. Of course, Van killed a few units out of Anatan, right? But I can tell you that there's still no clear victory on this fight, because no relics got taken. It's just a little bit of push left to right. Most of the deers got taken off from the map, yes, but we don't really see which player is leading currently, other than we see, of course, Vam killed more amount of unit. Okay, that was a really nice snipe on the Man-at-Arm. But the crossbows of Anatan is on the field, and also he got +2 range damage, right? Well, Wham just have +1 ranged armor.
And I can see the difference that would make in a big fight like this, especially when I say big, I mean a lot of archers, and that's literally what he keeps doing. He keeps getting ranged units because he knows this is how I'm going to overwhelm him. And I think I saw this once in a game with Beastie where he's playing longbows against some very chunky men-at-arms, and after that game, I changed my quote, and it's like, archers don't counter men-at-arms, but enough archers do. So I feel like Wham is might be falling into that right now. I say that, and at the same time he's going for his gilded archers. But you can see now with the crossbows being in the mix as well, this is going to get harder and harder for Wham to trade. He's still trading, and it's going okay for now, but still no +2 range defense.
So now, if I'm correct, Wham picked up a relic, and as well ANOCHAD picked up a relic as well. Wham did a really good raid on those ANOCHAD villagers with the knight, but this fight doesn't really good for Wham so far, right? Because the archers are doing a lot of damage to the Wham crossbows. The crossbows are doing a lot of damage to the Wham manatons, and no, that knight! He needs to survive. He was doing so good with the raiding. He even killed one villager, which is really nice, and holding back the gold economy. At the same time, the archers of Wham has arrived with their insanely good ranged armor and very, very fast attack speed.
Now, with the amount of crossbows on this field, though, it doesn't feel like ANOCHAD is letting those archers do the work yet, but as those numbers increase, like you said, they are very fast. And they're going to be able to make quick work of these guys. The thing is, Wham is out here on the map, so this does leave him a little bit exposed. We can see China is just living their best life inside their base, as they do, but the food is also going to become a problem eventually. And then I feel like Wham is the kind of guy who can definitely punish that. Him getting horsemen as well now, you saw him being quite happy to do some raiding in the base, so this is definitely not something that's going to feel foreign to him at all. We do see the archers getting split up and pushed into the different positions, like onto the ball, to try and see when he moves out. Just like this also, the scout sees the next gold. The moment you see that gold expiring in your opponent's base, it's like a little alarm bell for you to move out and see what you can find. Now the crossbows are going to be trading pretty well here against the men-at-arms. That poor guy, he's never going out again.
But you can see how tanky the archers are actually against the crossbow. With their +3 ranged armor already in, he is getting another ranged armor from the blacksmith, and he can get another ranged armor if he has prelate with the military upgrade. Then you're gonna have a 6 ranged armor archer, which is sick ranged armor. Am I right?
Now, the beautiful thing about Web's playstyle is not just his sick plays, but also the fact that he knows how to keep his opponent on his toes. You can see now Horseman here trying to fight a good fight, but there's another Horseman fighting back. And although it does look like the Horsemen from ANOCHAD, they finally got on top of these archers, and they're making pretty quick work of them. So no +2 at ranged attack for them, so they don't do as much damage as you would want them to.
Honestly, I feel like going Archer Marathon with OOTD is insanely good, right? Because as an Archer, you have insanely good attack speed, you have more range than a crossbow. The Marathon of OOTD, they have high damage, very high attack speed, so you kind of don't even need Spearman in the situation of dealing with the Horseman if you just well protect your archers with the Marathon, right? You're just standing around the archer and like dancing around this. Okay, we are protecting the archers right now. We are doing a really, really good job as a Marathon. Because the Marathons have a really high HP pool as well, just like the OOTD archers. But what really protects them, just like in a situation of French, where the French has a lot of melee armor, here they are getting protected by having a lot of ranged armor. And also, if you have the military buff as well from the prelate, it's like having Mongol archers under Kurutai.
That sounds disgusting, Corvinus.
It is disgusting.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Trust me, that's
Okay, so we're in agreement. Now, I want to point out the fact that ANOCHAD hasn't gone for double broadaxe. He's gone for the mining upgrade, but not double broadaxe. And for me, this is one of the most interesting things to look at the pro players and their choices in terms of upgrades. We've seen a lot of players forgo wheelbarrow. We've seen a lot of but I've never seen a man forgo double broad. Oh, never mind. Double broadaxe is it now, but definitely quite late in the game to go for something like that. Is that just because the upgrade doesn't benefit China as much? Or do you think that's a personal choice?
I think honestly it's rather the personal choice, right, than saying that if it's benefits or not. Because all the time when you are over amount of villager, it's really good to have any kind of upgrade unlocked. And the fact that he made so many archers and after that building a lot of buildings as well, switching to production buildings, and he still didn't got the level 2 upgrade, it's weird. For the level 1 upgrade, if you have like 15 villager non-stop using that resources, right, then it's really good. Let's say 10 to 15 villager using that resource, then you wanna get the level 1 upgrade. It's very important. If you don't even put like 10 villager on wood, of course you will not really get the first upgrade. But if you have like 20 villagers non-stop on wood, then level 2 upgrade is even better, right? So I guess he picked up the level 1 because of the amount of villagers. Well, let's see this fight because I'm really curious who will actually win this.
It does look like it's a little bit all over the place. ANOCHAD attacking from all sides. The horsemen are going to go for their own little bit of damage, but we have horsemen on all the sides trying to do their own thing. It does look like the horses had turned around to try and do something here. Could be a little bit of an A move, but the archers are going against the rams. And this, I feel like, is critical. The fact that he is actually kept in his base while ANOCHAD is trying to pick off these stray expensive units. This could swing into ANOCHAD's favor so quickly. I would always also say I think it is kind of in ANOCHAD's favor already. He's got 3 relics. He's a very happy camper with that. He doesn't have the food transition just yet, but Wham is under a lot of pressure.
Well, I can tell you that it was a really good push from Wham to push here ANOCHAD armies back, right? So now he a little bit saved his base, but at the same time, ANOCHAD is just unlocking his third eye, like literally, because he's just building the Imperial Palace. He's activating the Chinese map hack, where he can see all the villagers of Wham, where they are doing their little secret job, you know? And at the same time, he will receive the 15% extra movement speed as well. Now, the question is when he gonna use the ability.
Yeah, I'm putting it on his side so we can see when he deems it necessary, because this is such a scary move to be up against. And the thing is, Wham doesn't know what's cooking. He's already going towards Song Dynasty. ANOCHAD now finally saying, I do want to get some extra villages, but considering that ANOCHAD killed 10 of Wham's villages already, he's probably in a pretty happy spot.
But that's kind of waste, because you know you don't have Yuan Dynasty, which means your villagers, your IOs, your everything are much slower. So maybe that was a misclick from ANOCHAD. Maybe he wanted to build the Barbican first, and after that the Imperial Palace. Because in my honestly, in my book, it just doesn't make sense to remove yourself out of Yuan Dynasty. That's such a good dynasty. It's even better than Ming Dynasty.
So with Yuan Dynasty, because of the movement speed, you just give your army so much more. But apparently, he wants those villages just a little bit more. I wonder if there is a play here. It might just be to get ahead economically, but I can see what you mean with the power that goes with it. Now, the thing is, Wham's army is pretty scary. You can see the army value just being slightly ahead. But considering there's almost 1,000 resources, not 1,000, let's say 800 resources running around here. Technically. That is, why is my math so slow right now? That's 840 resources running around. So that's a pretty big chunk, especially when you're doing a massive push to the side. Now, Wham is asking himself, where do I go? And I'm honestly not too sure where Wham should go right now. It doesn't feel like the economy is that exposed. And at the same time, he does have this protection at the back, but a few more villagers will lose their lives because ANOCHAD is just so aggressive right now.
And he was right. He just got the textile out as well, just in time, right? When the horseman arrived, so he didn't lose that many villagers if he didn't have the textiles.
And getting it at this point definitely tells us he is tired of losing anything. Now, with the army over here on this side, though, I'm a little bit worried because I felt like the army moved across the map with an intent. They couldn't find that goal they were going for. And now it feels like basically having a massive shift in idle time, but now for the military. And the army is just being pulled back one by one, being picked off as well. We can see here the archers at the back, even though they shoot very fast, they're up against a very big army that is about to go right on top of them. Now, he does play a little bit more conservatively, and there is a massive death ball coming from the side. But Wham, he's under a lot of duress, and I don't think he's getting out of this.
I'm really curious if Anothan can pull this, or Vam can pull this around, because Anothan sitting on Vam for so long, it's crazy to see, right? His economy is just, the full economy is idle. The only villagers that are actually working is his gold villagers. The rest of them running left to right, staying inside the TC, losing units left to right. It's crazy what's happening inside of Wham's base right now.
At this point, Wham is under so much duress, but there's one good thing that's here for him, and that's the fact that he has so much more army than Anothan. Anothan invested a significant amount in this push, and Wham could potentially find the damage he needs. He has learned that, hey, this side of the base is probably not the place I need to be attacking. I need to go find a place where I can actually do some damage, and right now, that's going to be on top of that farm transition. The question is just, is he going to be able to do that rotation without getting caught out? This Anothan is so aggressive, Corvinus. Oh my goodness, this man, he reminds me of CSO right now. I think the amount of times that he played against CSO this last while definitely taught him about how important it can be to just constantly raid. Because CSO raided Anothan non-stop. And he crumbled the first time, but the second time, he was completely ready. And he is taking a book out of that page and just doing a wonderful job at it. But now, that's a pretty big army, and they're heading straight for the economy.
But thanks to the luck that it's only archers, so if he has some defensive buildings, maybe some towers, you know, to put the villagers inside, that he can survive until the horseman arrives. That's not that many horsemen. I feel like the archer can easily butcher them. And they... Oh wait, that's not even a horseman. That's Fire Lancer.
That's a Fire Lancer? Now, how do Fire Lancers trade against archers? I feel like Fire Lancers... Yeah, I was gonna say, they are not known for their... But they're archer taking down abilities, right? Oh my goodness! But look at that.
Ooh, that's crazy. So many villagers got killed. Yes, because the Fire Lancer is more like, you know, it goes like boom and runs away. Because it doesn't have extra damage against archers. It has insane damage against siege and insane damage against buildings. But as you see, there is no siege from the dragon.
Now, Order of the Dragon is a civilization, I feel like they can put off siege for very, very long. And with the army composition he's seeing out of his friend here, it's definitely not feeling like an urgency. Now, the guild crossbowmen doing pretty good damage, even against these horsemen. But again, Anothan is just constantly forcing Wham back into his base. It feels like Wham is responding every single time to Anothan's baits in his base. And he's just not able to cross that halfway part of the map without losing some of his units. And honestly, hats off to Anothan for being able to keep Wham that occupied. Because if there's anyone who can do that, I don't know if I would have put Anothan at the top of that list. But after seeing this, I'm definitely excited to see what he's going to offer. We do see two Nest of Beast shots making a very, very good connection here, especially against those archers. You definitely need to get some magic done. And the outpost being reinforced as well. He might need to mix a little ram or two into this mix here.
Well, we are still on the same foot of the two players just clashing into each other with their army. No one is looking for Imperial Age yet, but the food economy has been set up from them, and the gold has been gathered up from the left side by Anothan, which indicates to the fact that he will soon target the gold on the other side of the map, or maybe on his side. Will he steal from some gold from them? I really want to see if he does that. But right now, what's the idea? He's not making any more Fire Lancers, only horsemen. So I'm really curious what is another cooking. At the same time, I just mentioned that Vam is so far away from Imperial. Well, Vam is very close to Imperial. Don't forget, OTD goes with the Swabi up cheaper. Why? I have no idea.
Because they need it, Corvinus. Come on. Now, getting your Swabia up is probably the best call here for Wham, because as we can see, he is struggling to stay up to date with the villagers. 20 villager kills from Anatan, and him being in Song Dynasty, that economy is doing great. So, I feel that once Wham does get to sit in his base and get that eco up, he's going to be a very happy camper. The problem is just, after watching Anatan for the last 29 minutes, I do not think that Wham is going to get the opportunity to just sit back and do what HRE in Order of the Dragon does best. Just hide behind towers.
Well, he does it really well, right? And Grateful Gatehouse is coming up from Enotan. Even he put 26 villager on that age up. Don't forget, actually only 5 villager can build it from one side.
Oh, no. Corvinus, they found the way. Downhill, baby.
Alright, okay, that's an abuse. That's an abuse of building Grateful Gatehouse. Red flag, I don't allow it.
Oh, luckily, that was just a very fast protection. And now he's going to need a little bit of a stone wall situation to keep him safe, especially against these knights that are made of steel and lots of damage. Now, I'm a little bit worried here. This gold is still in a very, very healthy spot. Anatan, though, he's going out onto the next gold because he has depleted that big bad boy gold that he was on. But Wham needs to find a way to get himself back in the driving seat. And he's making more men-at-arms. We see he's got the spearmen out here to try and keep him off that boar meat. But I'm a little bit worried for him. His gold income is very, very low. And even though he does have the big gold, this is going to run out eventually. He just doesn't have the economy to actually constantly rally onto there.
Listen, if your ram rush fails, try a slow push with hymns.
And the slow push is just what Anatan had in mind. I'm joking. Anatan's going face first. He's going balls to the wall. He says, guys, I'm in his base right now, boy. And he's going for it. And this is probably the best call. Because right now he knows he's playing against Order of the Dragon. We've all been there. We let Order of the Dragon do their thing. And 10 minutes later, they are just running over you with those very, very chunky units. Going right where it hurts, right in the gold. And the horsemen raiding onto food as well.
Oh, the protection around those nest of bees. He's just pulling back the spearman just right in time. He destroyed the monastery. The 2 relic is out. He has 3 relic inside the pagoda, so that's already a great amount of resource per minute. If he brings that 2 extra relic and put it inside the monastery, his resource per minute is gonna be crazy. But the knights are coming, the horseman is coming. I'm curious if he can protect those nest of bees in time. And he was successful. It was successful. Now it's just all about them. If he can protect his base. Or, ooh, the pesky little monks are here to steal the relic. And the nest of bees just showing their true mighty power. Destroying all those... Oh! Hell yeah, brother! Walala!
He does scream to the skies. He is going to get some very gilded spearmen as a reward. Very nice. First China gilded spearman in history. And now, you know, the TC is the next target. And that's the problem. When you get to this big of an army composition, especially with that Palace God switch, he was just able to overwhelm. And now, Wham needs to think about what he's going to cook in the next game, but he has some pretty strong picks left. As we said before, he chose this most likely because Rus was expected on this map, which means he's still got Rus in the bank and Zushi on top of that as well. Wham is in no way out of this. Wham is in a very good spot, at least regarding picks, but he doesn't need to be careful. We do see the hand cannoneers cleaning up everything. Nest of Bees, supportive unit for this. They will hit the farms, hit the units, anything in their way.
Wow, I can tell you that it was a little bit, like as I said, if it goes to Imperial, it's really hard to beat the China with the OTD because those Chinese hand cannoneers, they punch a lot. And because they're increased range by their unique technology, right? They can just easily focus out the enemy range units. If it's archer, crossbow, or OTD hand cannoneers, they have no problem. The Chinese hand cannoneers have no problem to focus them out at long range.
China. And that's the great part of getting to that point of the game. China late game. I think we've all been there. We've all suffered through it. And yes, just like that. Guys, we're going into game number 3. And this one, as we can see on, or not see on my screen just yet, is going to be Lancaster against Rus. Now those two civilizations we've been seeing a lot of. Lancaster, very versatile, very aggressive, but can also be passive. They have a little bit of both on every side. And Rus, on the other hand, is Rus. And I don't think we need to say anything else. Everybody has made a Reddit thread about it. We've all upvoted that one guy who's like, man, why is this? The civilization is in a pretty good spot still. After the nerfs to pro scouts, they're still living their best life. And with Lancaster, I feel like this is the type of matchup that they have to go in and they have to be proactive, especially on a map like this. The map, Coastal Cliffs, is a map where you have to be the one that actually makes the plays happen if your opponent is going to go for pro scouts. Very small map, very aggressive, and a stable food income could snowball this significantly. The Governors, we're going to go on in, and then you can tell me a little bit about this matchup, because honestly, I need some information on this, and I feel like you're the man who knows. So let's hop on in.
The House of Lancaster from ANOCHAD in the yellow color. Went with the Rus. Well, let's see what the wise old say. Let me tell you that I've seen this matchup a lot. And the funny thing is the House of Lancaster won this matchup. Which is kind of crazy. Most of the time, yes. You're asking me, but why? Or how does it even happen? Well, those lombos of yeoman can catch up to the horse archer with no problem, or run away from the horse archer. Well, they don't have the same speed, but they are very, very fast. That's not enough. Since the horse archer does not have ranged armor, an armored unit, the synchronized shot does the 100% damage to those units, so you can easily snap them out if you do it, timing it perfectly. I've seen House of Lancaster age up very, very fast, just like Rus, almost the same time, and literally have no problem beating with age up and relic collecting. I myself played House of Lancaster and I played against Rus, and I literally had no problem beating 2 TC 5 relic Rus with House of Lancaster.
Wow.
You're asking me, like, why? Because House of Lancaster has the upgrade called S. Well, S upgrade gives you 6 extra damage against armored unit. If it's not enough, then you have another unique upgrade for House of Lancaster that increase your bonus damages, which means the knight +6 goes actually to +7. So you have +7 damage against the armored units only. So I'm curious, what's gonna be the pick from ANOCHAD? Is it gonna be the Lords? Is he just gonna go with the classic manor boom? Or will he go for 3 manors into fast White Tower into fast Imperial? I'm really curious which option he will choose, which kind of strategy will just surprise us, because there are so many ways to play the House of Lancaster. And women, this is a really, really good idea to mention that the devs cooked this variant so well that you actually now have a civilization, a warrior civilization, which is just so different compared to the parent civilization, just like Ayubid, right? So different. It's so nice to play it in many other ways.
And that's something I also have been noticing as well. There's just too many, oh, not too many. Two sounds bad. There is so many options with Lancaster, and I think that's what makes them so special and so fun. Because with English, we've seen usually there's one style, and it has, we know what the best one is. And I was gonna say, I think the Lancaster Castle is still just the best play for this map specifically, because or not just this map, but against Rus, because horse archers are very squishy. And you would probably want to keep your villagers safe when the time comes. But with the lack of boys going onto stone, like you said, this could just be that fast castle, and he just wants to protect that gold and match it. Look at that, he's getting another one onto gold. Corvinus, this is a fast castle Lancaster, and I can't believe I haven't ever seen this. Disgusting.
Yes, that's why he also he put the one villager only on the castle, right? And he's splitting up his villagers on food and gold, and also he's walling the left side of the map, so he will not let this little wham to do some professional scout on the base of ANOCHAD, which is really nice, because now he will have a safe amount of food, right, inside his base, but do we have the pro scout for Wham?
Not yet. It looks like Wham is struggling a little bit. As we see, his sheep numbers are pretty low. So this means, and this is something I didn't think I would have to, that I would encounter, but Rus not having enough sheep just means that they cannot even go for that greedy fast castle that we do sometimes see from them. Now, he does finally have enough resources for it, and he's got a lot of scouts running around here anyway.
So, you know what was the problem? I can already tell you that. He was repairing the hunting cabin, and all the wood, right? All the wood just went into a hunting cabin, and that's why he has a lumber camp right now on the second wood line, or the main wood line.
Okay, so just delay him.
All the straggler tree is enough for you to start the professional scout. But because ANOCHAD was using his spearman to torch the hunting cabin, Vam used all of his wood to repair it, and that's why the professional scout is so delayed. He might get it after 6 minutes.
Now, getting pro scouts, very crucial, as we talked about a little bit here. The thing is just, Lancaster, they're basically ready for the next age. We can see the moment he ages up, he's going to be ready for the next one too. And that is honestly disgusting. What are we seeing here? Corvinus, can this just be a man-at-arms spam as well? Or an Earl's Guard spam? Because this is something that's also shown its head the last while.
Yes, because I was talking about the Earl Guard for a while. I even made a clip a week ago or 2 weeks ago when I said, wait until they realize how insanely strong the Earl Guard is. Because I was keep telling people, hey, just use the Earl Guard because they are crazy. They have insane amount of range damage. Just you need to micro it. I know you can micro it. You are a good player just like me. Just micro the Earl Guard, and you're not gonna have the slightest problem. Because if you didn't know, they have 17 damage on the range attack, so they are a Giga Donzo. Oh, the White Tower is coming up right now. Oh, I smell Earl Guard.
And with the barracks here, he made it for the spearmen, but it would make a lot of sense to make a little bit more out of it. Now, this is something we actually saw at the early stages of the tournament, some of our top players losing to. Voldemort dropped a game against someone who was quite far below him just because of this Earl's Guard spam that I think will work one time against most players and never ever again. So I'm a little bit worried here for Wham, because I don't know if he's played it against us. Because again, it's not something that you would regularly face.
At the same time, I'm still kind of... I have a question mark over my head. Why is he building the White Tower there? Where Vem is not even pushing into his base, right? So he could have put the white tower a little bit more to the front, maybe to the second gold. So it protects the second gold, protects the wood line, protects everything right there. And the Lancaster castle protects the first gold. He could have done that as well, but maybe he was a little bit scared and that's why he didn't do that. So we will see, we will see. God is out. Let's see what does he have working inside of the barrack. Oh no, it is the God inside of the barracks as well.
Now, the barracks, having 3 more in queue, tells us this is about to be what we would say is a spam. And we could put picture in picture. So, oh, I lost track of the Il's gods. Guys, give me a second. Oh, I pressed the wrong button, that's why. There we go. We found them, guys. So, those bad boys are heading straight for the kill. Now, the thing is, Wham had a lot more spearmen in queue. But I think the moment he sniffed an Earl's Guard or a fast castle, he realizes it's time for the age up. The thing is, he's pulled off a lot off of gold, or off of food. So he's definitely not going to drown in resources when the age up does kick in. The problem is just he also doesn't have... he's getting those 2 extra archery ranges to get the crossbows to handle this. But the Earl's Guards, they are already ready to fight.
And also that height house is gonna be really bad, right? Because he's building on a wood that's already halfway chopped.
That is a tough position to be in. You can see most people in that case would want to be able to build the next mining camp here so that you can put it down here. But with the archery range already in position, it does limit your choices a little bit. Now, we do see the Earl's Guards taking a bit of damage, not too much, but they are already 9 on the field, and it feels like this is a ticking time bomb. And we'll see if he goes for the crossbows, or if he tries to go for the horse archers instead. Horse archers, he says it is. Those things can kite, Earl's Guards cannot.
Sure about it? Because the Earl Guard has their little pisky knife that they can throw to the horse archer.
Oh, so you're telling me this is about to be disgusting anyway? So the horse archers, let's see if he's going to be able to snipe the first one.
Snipe or snipe a villager. Which one gonna be? Because you need only 3 Earl Guard to snipe one villager, unless if it has a textile, then you need more, of course.
Now these boys are normal villagers. Those aren't textiled ones. So they... Ooh, let me just double switch POV. Yeah, no, definitely. Those are just normal villagers. So we do see those axes hitting a horse archer. So 6 of those should be able to take down one horse archer.
Action everywhere literally on the map, which is really nice to see. And he's waiting for the knife to be activated on the Earl Guard. The 3 Earl Guard that being chased by 2 horse archer. As soon as he gonna turn back, he gonna boom! That's what you get, brother. Now get down from that horse. Oh, look at that! Boom, another one.
And apparently the kiting is all that's needed. Now crossbows into the army. Wham realizes horse archers may not be the answer. Goes for the crossbows, but the problem is you need them in big enough numbers to chase these down. Now, the movement speed on these bad boys, 1.25. They do run a little bit faster, Corvinus. These bad boys should be able to get out of danger.
They are faster than normal man-at-arm, because the normal man-at-arm has the same movement speed as a crossbow.
Wow.
It is a wow. It's like having 8 man-at-arms, but on crack.
And luckily, no extra weapon upgrades for any shenanigans, but we do see another 2 crossbows going down. The unit that
we can say that, having 8 man-at-arms, but on hymns.
On hymns, there we go. There we go. These boys, 8 men-at-arms on hymns. They have just the right amount of power when they throw back. They do need a little time to recharge, but when they do, we know that is going to be a destruction. Instantly.
It's crazy. Another one.
It does allow you to transition out before your opponent will realize. So I think this is the sneaky part, and that we can see the stable already being put down. Double stable now. And this is where you transition into the horsemen, because now your opponent has overinvested into crossbows because they know that this is a very slippery slope. And horsemen, Hobalars in this case, is going to make that pretty easy for you to clean up. Now, the monk does not get to go home with the relic, but he will leave a warning.
Monk.
Yeah,
that's a very sad monk.
Now the question is just, are we going to get some military upgrades this game, or is ANOCHAD going to not grace us with any of those? But these guys, you probably don't even need them.
Oh, look at that, look at that. Another one. It's so beautiful to see a Minotaur just countering the crossbow, am I right? Just throwing those... Oh, dagger again. Oh, he is close fighting. Okay, that's interesting. Oh.
Not
okay,
too
that
much,
was
though.
interesting. Yeah, that was a really interesting interaction between the two army.
It does look like ANOCHAD's finally making his way to the relics, because with that delay he had in the monastery, he definitely wants to get that going. Now the question is just, is he going to be able to get more? It does look like he should be able to secure 3 based on the map, and that's a pretty solid position for you to be in, Ezreus.
Well, the good thing for Ram to pick that board, I would really like to see them picking the top board as well. Oh, look at that. And also when the Hoblars will enter to the field and he does a great attack on Vam's base, Hoblars will clear up all those crossbow plus horse archer army, since Vam doesn't really have a huge knight army. So what ANOCHAD can do is to snipe the knights with the Urgar, right? So there is no problem of fighting off the knights with the Hoblars, because the Hoblars can just now easily focus on the ranged units, and the knights will get sniped out by the Minotaur.
You can see these horses are looking for their way out. The thing is with the Hoblars, they just don't take any damage from... Horse archers are barely going to make a dent in them. So, and shutting down professional scouting on this side, pretty massive, because, as we can imagine, the food situation should be pretty dire here. Now,
but the question is, will they arrive back home, or will they lose the deer halfway home? But I'm pretty sure he will just get back that food, because let me tell you that, when the 3 deer goes back, that's a crazy amount of resource for the Rus. Because do not forget, little viewers in the chat, that when Rus is gathering wild animals, they also receive gold.
And that's a very healthy spot to be in. We see Rus untouched on the gold. Doesn't need any of that. Gets everything from other resources. Let's switch to resources per minute so we can see here. Horse Archer's trying to find a way in, walks into the wall, thinks that that's a full wall. Gets another hole to go through, but the thing is, those guards are standing at the ready, and now the Hoblars are about to show themselves.
Wow, I can tell you that if ANOCHAD really decides that I'm going in, he will go in hard, and he will get all those range units without a problem.
The thing is, the army is starting to have quite a sizable amount of knights, Corvinus. I don't think this is going to be such an easy fight for the Hoblars when 9 knights are in the mix. The knights trade really well. As we know, Hoblars are not known for their one-on-one action. They're more a little bit of a raiding and an archer clearing unit. So he does send the Hoblars out their way, trying to see if they can find some damage. Now, running under the tower, seeing that he's on the board, he's definitely going to think about, hey, maybe this man is going to get hungry pretty quickly. Now, we'll see another Hoblar making his way out, trying to find a little bit of damage, but they're just sending a message back home, and spearmen are now added to the mix.
I'm curious about that, because he's getting a good amount of manors. Those manors are really far away from the Lancaster castle, so they will not receive the extra HP or the arrow slits. Ooh, those knights are trying to get in, but the white tower is there doing a good amount of damage. The Hoblars are pushing. Ooh, that's gonna be a really huge destruction. I can tell you that, losing a good amount of units, which you really don't want to happen with your Rus army. Well, I'm curious when ANOCHAD is gonna use his huge army to do some great damage on Vam, because right now he has a map control and eating all the natural resources out of the map.
It does look like ANOCHAD does not feel pressured to do anything, though, because he's playing Lancaster, right? The civilization loves sitting in their base and just mannering up, because that's how you teach your opponent some manners, by making a lot of them. And Wham is nowhere near being ready for that stage of the game, because if you look at the eco difference here now, ooh, we see farms. That's 8 farms, guys. 2 more farms, and he's part of the YouTube song. So, getting 8 farms at this point, alongside all your manors, you know that Anatan feels comfortable with the amount of units he has. Well, Wham, on the other hand, he doesn't have a farm transition, he doesn't have an answer for food once this ball runs out, and it's pretty close. We also don't have any deer here. There might be a dead deer somewhere close around, and none over here. So the poor man is going to be starving for a while, because this does take a while to get going. The wood income does not look anywhere close to a farm transition either. So this army that Wham has, he needs to do something with these numbers in his army right now.
I'm curious what is the idea, how they want to approach this situation, because Anochad is a little bit, you know, he's like just staying at home, housekeeping, holding back his military. Well, he has a good amount of unit, he has an insane amount of air guard, he has a good amount of spearmen, and now is he transitioning into Yo? Yo, man.
Yo, man! That is going to be a tough set of units to deal with, especially considering that most of his army consists of some very squishy boys. The knights, they're probably living a good life, but not for long when there's a lot of spearmen to impale you along the way as well. Now, we do see that Anatan is going out there on the map for a little bit of food, but it doesn't look like a big commitment. One villager putting himself in danger, some Hobbelar as well, but he does pull them back pretty quickly. We see the boys being pulled off of gold as well. He does not want to lose anything. He wants to let this eco do the talking.
Well, I can tell you that if that army of Anochad will yield on the field, right, with all the upgrades and everything, and if he gets the yeoman and the synchronized shot, I wonder if Wham can stop it, because it's like a really strong composition, right? You have the dagger throwing guard, which will literally snipe a few units out of the enemy army before the fight really starts. Then you have the archers with the synchronized shot to literally destroy the DPS in the back. So really curious what's gonna happen, because I'm pretty sure for like 2-3 minutes it's gonna be a little bit of, you know, a little bit calm, but after 3 minutes we will see the true face of Anochad army. Synchronized shot is in the queue.
Oh, and synchronized shot does so much damage paired with the right amount of yeomen, and we're getting to that amount. The thing is, they're just so affordable, especially with a wonderful ability like that. Now, Anatan wants to break through the wall, and this is feeling exactly like what we saw from him before, where he's pushing, trying to keep Wham in his base, and reactionary, when he knows that he doesn't want this army on his side. Although, with the units that I'm seeing here, he would not mind these guys running into his manor placements at all. The thing is just, with the knight numbers, he still has to be on his toes and not take any much of a, or not too much of a risk.
Well, he decided to go home rather, right? But it's really complicated, because you need to understand. This is right now the match point, right? So if Anochad wins one more, he won the show match. Wham, he's not really being the aggressor because he can't lose this match, right? So he's trying to be a little bit of more passive, but at the same time, Anochad kind of confuses Wham, right? Like, dude, attack me, fight me. I'm the one who actually needs to win this, you know, to be 2-2, so I'm not out yet. But Anochad says, no, I'm gonna confuse you. I ain't gonna push you yet. I'm gonna do a little bit of units here, a little bit of units there. But my goal is not to kill you yet. His army is just growing. He has 34 yeomen already. That's crazy. And queued up a few more as well.
Now, Wham does seem to be okay with holding back. And you can see here with the units he's getting, he's preparing. And he's preparing for the High Armory. Already getting his siege workshops in position. Now, the High Armory, guys, this is going to be a wild one. Because now, with the High Armory, he's going to be able to start sieging down Lancaster. And when we talked about countering each other and getting to that point, we talked about the castle. Castle Age Lancaster does feel really scary when you're dealing with that early aggression and all the units that most people cannot handle. Wham! He handled it. And now, I don't know if Annochad is going to have the answer. Oh my god, I said that and I see it's a Berkshire of all things. I was going to say, a Berkshire, it's going to provide some temporary defense, but the problem is then, how do you deal with all the siege from Rus?
Well, that's a really good question, but at the same time, I can tell you that the Berkshire will increase the damage of the Earl Guard, right? Because now, what you can have is maximum 4 axis damage of the Earl Guard. But thanks to the Berkshire, it will increase to 6. So you can increase the damage of the Earl Guard with +6. Well, with +6 damage, both ranged and melee damage of the Earl Guard goes crazily high.
So we're about to see some destruction, right? That's what you're saying.
Well, he first construct and destruct.
Okay. So we do take that into consideration. Construct, then destruct. Now, 9 Springolds though, and we do see Springold upgrades coming through. Ladies and gentlemen, Springolds with extra layers of damage. That's going to be disgusting to play against. University now coming out from Annochad as well. What does he get? Elite army tactics? Do you get your yeoman to have fire arrows eventually? But with the gold he has in the bank, we see he gets scutage instead. I've never said that word in my life, Corvinus. Scutage.
Wow, the scutage for sure to get the 360 gold per minute out of those manors. Well, if he needs to tax something, he will tax those for sure.
Now,
Ooh, I really wanna see that army do a huge clash against Wham's army, because the yeoman's synchronized ability also really good against the Springald. It's not as good against the Mangonel, but against Springald they are melting it down, right? And Annochad just used those Springolds are on the field holding back the Earl Guards, and the yeoman is nowhere to be seen yet.
yeoman standing at the back very safely. The thing is, these Springolds are now super Springolds. They have more range, more damage, and they are like little machine guns. Machine guns that go right through everything in front of them. So, we're gonna see if Annochad can actually break this. The question is just how he thinks of doing that. Look at that. Springold's actually doing pretty well there with the front line, just tickling them a little bit. He does respect it, but it does look like the horses want to break right through. The Rus Walls, though, the true MVP of this game, and he gets another layer. Hell yeah. He knows what's good.
I'm pretty sure he watched enough Shrek movie to know that ogres also have multiple layers, just like onion.
And with enough layers, you know, there's a lot of protection. And that's exactly what he's going for. But guys, those yeomen, they're breaking through. Now, we just need to see one synchronized shot on top of these bad boys to truly understand their power. Demi-Lances, though, they are trying to find damage. The problem is just where.
The crazy thing that Annochad never got a single mining upgrade. He was like, I don't need that, we don't need mining upgrade. Also, he never got a single melee armor, right? Or melee damage, which is interesting. He went full on ranged damage. And he got his oh my god, that's a distraction!
That was such a massive money shot. But the thing is, that army was replaced. We can see Wham has a lot of resources in the bank. And those Springolds are just clapping those little butts of the melee army. And this is not an army that Lancaster can continue to replace with the Wind Guard. He went for the Berkshire. This is going to be normal, pricey units that I don't think Annochad can keep up.
The only reason why he has so much problem against the Springald, because he didn't got the extra range on the Yeoman yet. It's still in the queue.
Okay, so you're saying once this happens, that's gonna be a really tough fight, right?
Then he will have an easier, much easier time to deal with the Springolds.
Now, ANOCHAD is not in as good of a position in terms of his raiding ability, in terms of keeping his opponent on his toes. He is just trying to break through one group at a time. It does look like the second group is attempting, but it's just really hard to get there. Now, the Yeomen, they do finally have that range Corvinus was talking about, and we're going to see if that's going to be enough to actually handle this, because this front line is absolutely melting.
This looks like a little bit that is gonna be a long game for sure, because there is no trade, of course. The only victory condition for the second side, so no trade. Players can set up a trade and stay behind it, but they have to throw units on each other. If it goes to trash versus trash, I think House of Lancaster is better. But right now, ANOCHAD is just losing way too many units.
ANOCHAD is sacrificing a lot to try and get in. And I think this is just the pressure of like, oh, I gotta go and I need to raid, right? But Rus is not a civilization that minds that too much. This Rus is also on second TC. So even if you do kill a few of the villagers, it just feels like you sacrificed a lot of your units and he's nowhere near being max pop at the moment. So this is not something he wants to keep sacrificing. This is not something he can afford to keep sacrificing. Well, Wham, on the other hand, you know, this is Rus, right? Even if he stops mining gold at some point, he's going to be okay. He's going to have a lot of gold from the hunting cabins. Not unlimited, but definitely more than ANOCHAD at this point.
Well, I can tell you that there is more gold vein on the ANOCHAD side. He's gathering the most of the golds out of the map, but of course he also has passive gold. He also has a relic, so the passive gold is really right there. For them, he has the hunting cabins and the not really juiced up landmark. The H3 landmark was not really touching a lot of trees, so it's not generating so much gold.
100 is still a very nice number to have, but you're right. It definitely does feel a little bit limited in that late game. The thing is just, I don't know if ANOCHAD is going to be able to keep up with that gold production anyway. So it does put him a slight bit ahead. Now, with ANOCHAD's army now, he knows he needs to find something to break through. And the problem is, Wham has a lot of units. And these bad boys, these mangonels, they're extra special as well. So we'll see once he gets the adjustable crossbars in how this is going to be handled. But Wham says the way we're handling it is by doing something everyone fears, and that's dropping a keep in your face. So ladies and gentlemen, I have arrived. Oh. Just not able to put it down yet.
The scout runs it. The keep is trying to go up. Yeoman is using the ability on the Springle. A few Springle got hit. Sadly, most of the Yeoman ability hit the Mangan and not the Springle, so he couldn't snipe out a lot. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure that keep will go up and the Spearman will get deleted thanks to the Springle.
Oh, and I realized I left my poor picture up on the screen, and we're looking at nothing except for one big screen of dead bodies. The Culverin is a single man who's trying his best to snipe things down. Now he's joined by two others, and all of a sudden now this siege looks like it's a little bit more in danger. But the problem is Yeomen still have a lot of time left before that ability is ready. There we go. Almost, boys. And now let's go see if he gets the money shot on the Springles again.
The villagers, they're trying to steal away the gold from ANOCHAD. Oh, some raiding in the back. Oh, synchronized shot went on the Springle, destroy one, but sadly it was not really well calculated.
The problem for him now is he's playing against Wham, who is very able to replace this. And Wham says, you can keep killing these units. I'm just going to make more, actually. And that's exactly what keeps happening. And Lancaster, on the other hand, they are just not able to get to that max pop. You can see it's at 166 right now. He's trying to pick off a few things, but you can see the units are just moving forward, and he needs to be so careful, because if those mangonel shots hit decently, he is cooked, because this is so expensive to replace, and he doesn't have the wood for that.
Oh, the Currents are sniping the siege out, which is really nice pick from ANOCHAD. But at the same time, Maybe. Oh, the Wangana shot. Boom, deletes a group of yeomen.
Now, it could have been worse. They do look still like they have enough to go around, but the yeomen are not able to clean these units out too quickly. The thing is now, it doesn't feel like he gets to the back line that easily. This is not a normal... Ooh, disgusting.
See, oh no, that was I'm talking about. See, that was a really good synchronized shot on the spring gold.
And Wham can replace this, but now I feel like that was a lot of gold, Corvinus. That was so much. He really is trying his best. It looks like the elite yeomen are going to be able to clean up these, but now, all of a sudden, Wham had invested so much. And the question is just, is he going to be able to get those units out? He's got 6 Springles in the queue, so he is trying his best to get this out as quickly as possible. 2 bombards in a lot of danger. And again, for some reason, nobody is going for boiling oil anymore, and nobody is going for any emplacements. So apparently, they're just going to be able to run on through. Villagers now, they're fighting on behalf of the army. Not with much, though.
I can tell you that that's a villager and villager action, but the problem is, Anothan is just losing villagers. He's down to 71 right now. But don't worry, he has 10 farms.
Yeah, he's got more than 10 farms, Corvinus. I actually think this works like mathematics. If you put 2 negatives, it becomes a positive, but in this case, 2 positives become a negative. So if you have this many farms, do they eventually contribute to you not winning the game? Is 10 the ultimate number? Because that's the one that people were molding about. Oh, the money shot did not connect as much as he wanted to. But now Wham is the one with the lower population. And he's doing a horseman switch. He realizes this is a mass yeoman composition. And yo, man, I know how to deal with this. It's cavalry, baby. So he's going to get some cavalry. But he's up against a lot of spears as well.
12 spring gold on the field. Oh my god, I gotta spring gold out of this game.
Now Wham producing as much as he can. But look at these horses. They are trying to think about the next move. They're gonna be able to connect if they felt like it, but they don't want to take any risks against those spears. Otherwise, he's gonna eat horse kebab tonight.
Well, I can tell you that Vam still have no problem with his gold, thanks to the gold generation of Rus gold generation. His food is 5,000, so he has no problem with food. At the same time, Elotent and his bank is very small and very low.
Yeah, Anochad's spending every bit of resource he has. Thank you, Mr. Beastie Cutie, with the raid. I appreciate it, sir. Now, this is a tough situation, I think, for Wham. And I mean, both sides. We've seen it go one way and the other. But honestly, the yeomen have showed some good power. But with those Springles being so susceptible to these money shots, it does feel a little bit scary as time goes on. The Culverins, they are moving forward, but the horses are just getting picked off, and it feels like Wham doesn't know just exactly when to strike here because his attention is split. He's busy doing so many different things. The man's on fire. He's just everywhere.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't need those villagers. 56 villagers. Come on. Was it either Poppy or Wham against Beastie when he had like 20 villagers with 200 military population? I'm pretty sure. So history is getting repeated itself. Crazy amount of units, over 100 military population on Anothan. But the question is, will he get deleted because his spearman was out of position?
This just feels like such a tough set of punishments that went both ways. First, it was Wham losing all of his units, and now Anatan is the one losing his, but he's still got 42 villagers, and he has more than 10 farms. They're just not all active.
Well, the problem is, there are actually just 10 villagers on the farms.
Yeah, so that build was not supposed to be 10 villages, it's supposed to be 10 active farms, and apparently did not get the notice there. Berkshire is hammering away, and the horsemen do look like they get cleaned up, but Wham has the resources to make more. We can see this man producing from 19 stables now. He is just making as many as he can. Yeoman trying to get a pretty cheap shot off, and the Springald does stay alive, but a few villagers will pay the price.
Also, the second camera is not showing anything right now, so we can put it on something really
Thank you.
cool stuff.
Yes, yes, thank you. This is me sitting way too close to my screen, watching the yeoman and not looking at the second one because I'm like, oh my god, look at those fire arrows.
I mean, I can literally understand because I would really watch those yeomen to do some yeomen for sure. And look at that sprinkle amount. It's crazy to see in a, let's say, a pro match, right? To have a player who's literally abusing the sprinkle, making. I'm pretty sure Vem made like 50 sprinkled in this game, or maybe 30 or 40 sprinkled, and now he's just spamming horsemen like a madman.
And the horsemen are paying off. We see a lot of spearmen coming out from ANOCHAD, but the Berkshire, with no emplacement, is just going to be firing these little arrows at those springles, and it's definitely looking a little bit tough for him, because now ANOCHAD does not have a lot of left here, but Wham, on the other hand, he's got a little bit of resources in the bank as well, and, oh, I was going to say, he's getting some bombards too to take care of this Berkshire, but no, he says the rams are the way to go. You do not have anything that can handle them. You just have a bunch of archers. Now, the horses...
I can tell you that was, for a second, it looked like Anothan is winning, right? But I need to ask you this, woman. Will 40 villager beat 100?
I don't know, because it's Lancaster. But this is not a Wingard Lancaster. So I think the only way the 40 farm build works is if you have the landmark with win in the name. Without that, I just don't know if it's possible, because 52 horses? I don't know if there are enough spearmen in this world to handle that. But they're definitely going to try. We see the spearmen now trying to find some villager kills, but honestly, he's going to need a tactical nuke here to be able to kill enough villagers to try and take this down. The Berkshire firing away, doing his best, but those spearmen need to get in position to deal with this. And the yeomen, they are next on the list of deaths.
Well, that Berkshire will go down. The extra damage. Oh, the synchronized shot on the Springald took 2 Springald out immediately. Was nice. Yeoman is focusing the Springald. Spearman is hugging the horseman. Oh, all the Springald will get destroyed.
And honestly, I must say I did not expect it to go this way. It looked like the Berkshire was going down, but no, this is still the Berkshire. And it still survives. Now all of the Springalds are down. And Wham doesn't have wood or gold. And apparently, farms and manors will be in the lead yet again. However, farms and manors this time, they are actually the ones on sacred sites as well.
Looks like, what is the sacred site timing? 5 minutes to achieve sacred site victory. I wonder if Anothan will try to hold the sacred site this time and try to win with the sacred site. If that keep goes down, don't forget, the +1 damage for the Earth Guard also gone. But the question is he holding the bottom sacred? I'm pretty sure he's holding the bottom sacred site because the timer still goes on. But will he hold it?
Now,
And win with the sacred site?
That's a good question. The thing is, I don't think he's counting on it just yet. I would love to see if he actually goes for a second TC, but I think with the resources or the lack thereof, he's definitely not considering it. Now, with all these villages, you can see he's getting every bit of wood on this map. And ladies and gentlemen, when you check out hymns for your needs, you might not be needing to find wood by yourself. It might just be a lot easier. I had to plug that in at the 2-hour mark as well. Now, Wham, he is putting every bit of gold he has into Springalds, though. He realizes what these spearmen can do, and now slowly starting to clean up villages. Lots of Springalds standing here. But we've got a Berkshire and we've got a dream. And apparently, that might be just enough. Now, the wood is starting to get a little scarce. I would say mostly for Wham, though. He's got a few trees just standing around, but the question is just, how long does this last him? Now, it does look like the horsemen are getting a little bit on the defensive side because now the army does look quite decent. The question is that, yeah, he still has a no shit button at his disposal, but the yeomen are a little bit out of position, so the spearmen, they do arrive just in time though. But they do need to be careful. The machine gun boys are standing at the ready. Now, from what I can... I thought Corvinus... No, I thought you died. I thought you died. I'm glad you're back.
No, I just really, like focusing in to see the movement of the players to understand their choices, right? Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that 3 minutes on the second side, and Anothan also getting Architect to get extra HP on the buildings, right? So it's like everything are stacked up, mixed up together. It's so interesting to see, will it be a second side victory or the 3 little horsemen will ruin the plan?
Now the thing is that money shot did not hit properly, so this could mean that this is an opening for Wham to push back. Now the spearmen, they don't want to fight into this, but they do kite backwards out of the range of the springles. Now the horses do still decap the sacred side on this side, so it will probably be fine for Wham to decap these, but it does take the attention from Anothan away, and you do see the kiting taking a little bit of that hit, but it does get decapped, and it looks like Wham will not be losing to a little sacred side.
If he just sent 3 spearmen there, he would stay on the sacred side under 3 minutes, but it was too late. The crazy amount of springald on the field again, the crazy amount of horsemen on the field again, and I'm not sure if Anothan can hold this unless something happens, but we will find out in the next 2 minutes.
In the next 2 minutes? Hey, the Corvinus has called it is already... Oh, okay, Corvinus, I need you to explain something to me. Why do we not have emplacements here? Are emplacements overrated?
I think emplacements overrated. No, I have no idea why you didn't get emplacement. Also, no boiling oil? Come on. The first thing I learned after playing a few Nomad games, right? That if you don't get boiling oil, oh no, the 2 Korean! Oh, my heart explodes. The 2 Korean was so expensive, and all of his passive gold income just literally went into the 2 Korean, right? So why did he not got any emplacement? I think that's a mystery. We will never know. No boiling oil, and losing so many spearmen to the springald.
It is definitely tough to micro those yeomen, especially out of a really tiny gate. The tiny gate does prevail for a little while, but it does look like horsemen have the Berkshire in mind yet again. They see no boiling oil, and they have no fear. But it does look like the rest of the spearmen are going to come and help. The Berkshire just firing away yet again, and now at the horses, but it's cleaned up a lot of those springalds as well.
Also, listen, if, let's say, there is a tiny gate, you can make it bigger. Just use hints right now.
Now, it does look like Wham only has 2 tickets on his golden gate, so he definitely has been using them tickets. So, the Berkshire, though, it's starting to be a little bit under duress, and it doesn't look like Anothan has the ability to replace these units. Resources are depleted. Rams are doing their best. Villagers are trying to repair this as well now. And it just looks like the springalds are prevailing. The horsemen getting onto the front lines now, and Berkshire is barely staying alive. He doesn't have the villagers to keep this alive.
Well, yes, because most of those villagers should be on farms, right? Because we don't have that many villagers as Anothan. 63 villager fighting off the over 100 villager of Rus player. Sacrifices are being captured now by Wham, and he just went for the last gold on the map that's in front of Anothan.
Now that last goal is probably what he needs to try and close this out, but honestly, a very tough game for both of these players. I feel like Wham has no idea how to deal with Lancaster in this form yet, because we haven't seen this form of Lancaster with without just unlimited spearmen, but rather just getting that Berkshire support. Now the yeomen, they are trying to shut down the rams, but you guys know that's 1 damage at a time. These things are taking a while. Okay, a little bit more than 1. Disgusting.
You know what this game remembers me of? I don't want to mention because it's still causing me PTSD. But I remember a game of
Yeah.
where we had a little bit of really long game because those guys did not know how to finish each other off. But you can do if you just support us with buying.
Oh, come by and checking out hymns. And guys, just like that, these spearmen are trying their best, but they are just getting slaughtered by the front line of the Springals. And unfortunately, these battering rams are definitely the crutch I think that Wham needed to get ahead of this. Now Hobbelas joining the party as well. Hobbelas being the front line all of a sudden. The boys, not sure where they want to stand just yet, but it does look like this is going to be pulling a little bit back. He's trying to get that Lancaster fire to help out, even if just a little bit. It's shooting a tiny arrow at a time, but it does look like some of these Springals will go down. 11 more in queue though, and if I'm on someone's side, it would definitely be the side of the player at 200 supply and a lot of resources in the bank.
This is such a crazy game. Like, ANOCHAD to just keep losing villagers. Wham is just still, I can feel him literally just shaking in his boots like, I have killed the whole family of the family of generation and generation family. You don't have anyone working for you. And now I just lost my army again? How has it even happened to me?
No, he has sacrificed enough. And this man also not a believer in the oil. Any oilers on the chat, do we ask? But no oilers here today. Nobody believes in the boiling oil. Corvinus, what happened to the boiling oil days? The days of the
Because
oil.
boiling oil is still strong, is still good. I feel like they are just, you know, fighting a lot. Sometimes they forget some things, maybe, you know, some upgrades, some very, very important upgrades. And that's why they kind of like not prioritizing those. Meanwhile, it is very important.
No,
But
Corvinus. Both players forgetting? I don't think so. It feels like there's something up and we're just missing it. And we haven't understood why boiling oil is not worth it. Twitch chat, are you guys still getting boiling oil, guys? Quickly. Because Twitch chat, you know how they are. They're the best players in the world. They're the best players in the world in this chat right now.
On the OTD game, right?
Yeah.
Both of them had boiling oil. Here, for some reason, they don't have it, so...
Big brain. Now, it does feel like Wham is doing everything he can to break this. And it looks like he will, because now the horses are on the back line. The spearmen are cleaning up what they can. But Wham definitely has a pretty solid income. You can see here with the gold, just a little bit more than ANOCHAD. But at the same time, he has a lot more value on the field as well. So for him, this definitely feels good. Because with ANOCHAD, you can't even make horsemen without having that gold. So... now, Wham just needs to sit behind his keep and try to slowly siege down. Oh, he doesn't even need to. I just noticed the sacred site timers. He is probably pretty okay with this. Double keep onto the sacred sites as well. And he's able to raid the back lines.
Wow, that's a really good raid. Now he can send him back to 40 villager again. But maybe not, because the spearman has arrived.
The spearmen arrived, but the horsemen will die. It does look like these villagers had a tale to tell, but they will keep telling it for generations on end, as long as their kingdom doesn't fall right now. But all of a sudden, you see the army masses being equal again. Villager masses, very far off, but the armies stay strong. Now the question is just... how many times or how many tickets does he have? Only 4. He's only got 4 tickets. He's using this so well.
The question is, will he able to do enough damage against ANOCHAD? Because he's raiding left to right. Really amazing, but I'm pretty sure Wham is really getting tired right now because he's just killing. He's just killing, he's just destroying, still nothing is happening, but I can tell you that this game will be saved by the Sacroside in 5. I hope so. Because that was a 5 minutes the last time when I said that ANOCHAD will win in 5 minutes. I hope Van will secure the Sacroside, not like Van the last time, but we'll see what's gonna happen. We will see, because ooh, the manors are getting destroyed because they are not close to the the landmark. So these are very, very weak manors.
Yeah, these manners look like they cannot take a beating. We can see these manners are extra spicy. So that is why you put your manners under your beautiful spicy Lancaster castle. Just for the right support. Now we can see Wham now finally finding some wood on the other side of the map. He is probably a pretty happy camper with this. Look at these guys, just trying to clean up everything behind the base, but now ANOCHAD has a pretty sizable army, and Corvinus, I feel like you may have jinxed it. With this size of an army, you might be able to decap the Sacred Sites if you can get past the you shall not pass army here at the front.
14 sprinkled? Oh no. Alright, it's time to pull out my card. The Yamata Kudasai.
The what?
The Yamata Kudasai.
What is that?
It's nothing, it's okay.
Corvinus, you watch a lot of anime, don't you?
Nah, not nowadays. I stopped, sadly, because not enough time to do that. But back in the day, I watched the full Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, I can tell you that.
Okay. That's all I needed to know. No, never mind. That's all good. That's good. All good. I mean, I've watched Death Note like 3 times, so I'm not here to judge. But to be fair, everyone has done that, right? So, we actually have a fight. Guys, the knights, they are coming in hot. They're coming at the Lancaster Castle, and nobody seems to care. It looks like the yeomen are just firing their tiny little arrows at them, barely breaking a sweat. These knights are just gonna go for the next round. It does look like the Sacred Site at 3 minutes is going to near closer. And guys, for the sanity of me and Corvinus, I'm going to speed it up a little bit between the dead spaces, because I did give the players a 5-minute head start so that we could skip between the dead stages. We just didn't think it would happen at 55 minutes in the game. Of course. But now this does look like a fight about to happen. The culverins, though, 4 of them, not a big amount, but big enough for Wham not to try to tank this phase first. Because as you guys can see, ANOCHAD is max pop. And Wham, he's got a lot of resources, but 200 is as high as it goes.
I'm not sure if ANOCHAD is capable of getting that Sacrosite. I really want to hope that ANOCHAD is capable, but look at the Springold army. He has 18 Springold and 14 in the queue.
And he feels like he overextended here. He's gonna need to target fire these Springolds, and that's exactly what he does. A beautiful money shot, but there's just not enough yeomans, and they are unfortunately not gonna be able to take down all those Springolds. The thing is, this army is quite far behind, and it does not look like ANOCHAD is gonna be able to stay ahead here. It's pretty dead, even though, except for the fact that Wham's army value is a lot more than the other side.
10,000 more, and I can tell you that the Sacroside was not touched. It's an untouched Sacroside, and it's time to say goodbye.
Time to say goodbye, because the Springolds, they make you die. The Springolds. Yeah, no, the Springolds make you lose your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we survived! It was 58.5 minutes, but we got to the end of it, ladies and gentlemen. We are now 2-2, and Wham and ANOCHAD, this is a match that is meant for ego, for power, and we'll see how this ends up in our final matchup. It was a game crash, they have to remake. Aww. Ah. Now, guys, we still have one more game to go. And they've already started, just so you guys know, but we do have the 5-minute observer delay. So it's going to be Zushi against Japan in the final match. And this is what we mentioned earlier. Wham had Zushi in the pocket, but Japan has been a wild card recently. So honestly, I don't think this is going to be an easy match either way. So, guys, for those of you who joined us a little bit later, we are doing a sponsored show match by Hims, and I just need to get my talking points through because we're ending our sponsored section of it. So give me 1 second. So we have Zushi now, right? Zushi against Japan. Any comments on that?
Well, this is really interesting because it can go either way, right? You can expect a Zushi rush in feudal, which is really nice. You can expect some Dark Age Barrack from the Japanese to delay Zushi.
Okay.
So I'm really curious what's gonna happen in Castle Age, because even though Zushi has faster attack speed on the knight, Japanese have its Onamusha, that's a cavalry crossbow unit. So Japanese can deal with the mounted knights very, very well. So it's like a civilization. If you are talking about power of the units, then it's really a 50-50 on both sides, since the Chiganyu is a big clutch unit to destroy any kind of unarmored unit. And as far as you know, the Japanese archer are really famous of having a low amount of HP with a cheap cost, of course.
Okay.
But I'm really curious what they gonna paint on the field. If they gonna paint blue the town, or will it be a total destruction on the side of the Japanese?
That's the thing. I feel like with these two, you just get a steamroll either way. It's just, oh my gosh, there's a huge army of Shigunu in my base. Oh my gosh, why are there lances everywhere? Or why do I have 600 Yumi floating around my base? So, no, I can definitely see the snowbally ability of these civs. But for today, I really hope that they don't discover the late game part of that. Because it is 11 p.m. Now, guys, my talking points that I want to touch on before we get to the normal Age of Empires content with no more bad puns. Sorry. So, guys, Hims sponsoring today's stream. So, their treatments are prescribed by licensed providers who are regularly reviewed to ensure you get the best quality care. But now, that is exactly why we bring our one-liners into our game. Those samurais aren't the only things that are built to stand tall and strong, baby. I got it. Oh my god. Oh, with Zushi as well, they'll go full dynasty, and you can too if you check out Hims. So, the treatments start at less than $2 a day. So guys, go click the link if you feel like this could be a beneficial brand to you. For the rest of you who don't feel that way, guys, we're going to be focusing on Age of Empire. And it's all about precision versus patience. Blades versus, Blades versus guns, I guess. But only one will bring the right reinforcement, and it could be you. That's it. Okay, that was the last one, I problem. Okay, cool. So, guys, that is all. Let's get into our final game. And
but the question is, can we insert maybe one more? Like, from the land of the rising sun, time to rise again yourself. Just use him.
That will be it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the game. All right, Chiefs, and I forgot to change this to caster mode because this is Wednesday Whammon. This is not professional tournament Whammon. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a Dark Age barracks. Did you expect anything else?
Wow. A crazy Dark Age rack.
Wow.
Well, he erect, I can tell you that. Because that barrack will produce the spearman that he needs in the Dark Age to do some aggression towards his gold. And it's really nice since when gold is on the front, so Anatan just can send his Piscated Spearman to cause some havoc around Wham's base.
Now, with the right amount of spears, there is no fear, because he is just going to be able to shut down a little bit of gold. The problem is just... Ooh, let me switch these bad boys around. Okay, so the problem with Wham's, or for Anatan, is the fact that Zhu Xi kind of doesn't struggle as much for gold, because they already spawn with this magical unit called the Imperial Official. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who've never seen one of these bad boys, what are you doing here? And welcome to Age of Empires. But the Imperial Official, this man can get you to Feudal Age without you even touching the gold. So currently, Wham is touching the gold, and he will be pulling one of these villages back, and probably the next one soon as well, but just wants to get as much as possible before he has to pull off completely. So we'll see now if that is something he feels is important enough to send it out. But it does look like the Spearman is overextending. Anatan, a little bit tired from that last game. Me, I would be too. So doesn't lose the Spearman though. He will live to poke another day.
Another day to live on with 1 HP Spearman. Just to one of the wolf on the map, bite my ass, and boom, he died. Well.
No. Corvinus, how did you know? What guy?
I was literally just, seeing the future. Okay. I know, I had no idea, by the way. I was just hoping the Spearman would die to a wolf.
Oh my gosh, Corvinus speaks to the animals. Corvinus, the top animal himself, he is now the animal whisperer. I call you an animal because of your playstyle. It is just absolutely crazy. Just by the way, guys, Corvinus has some off-meta builds on YouTube. If you guys haven't seen it, boys, I watched one of them and I felt so inspired. Let me just quickly go put a link in here. So let me see. Corvinus AoE 4 builds. Guys, if you want to see some cheesy-ass builds, go to Twitch chat, or go to Twitch chat. Yeah, go to Twitch chat and check out this link so you guys can go to see what the man actually cooks, because then you will know why I call him an animal. Now, Meditation Garden is not as spicy as I think most people would have hoped for. It does not get the gold, it does not get the stone, I believe, but it does get a healthy chunk of wood. A little bit south. And this is what an hour-long game against Anatan can do to you. It can make you focus on one thing, and that's just getting a safe Meditation Garden. And I mean, that's probably the goal here as well, right? You want to get your Meditation Garden not to be torched down, but it does have a little bit of an edge that could be exploited. Yes, we can see it does not touch the other way. Let's see. Just out of range.
At the same time, just watching it, like, where else he could have put the Meditation Garden? There's not really many places, right? He could have maybe a little bit to the right to reach the gold, yes. But the question is the Spearman were able to hit the villagers? So, maybe not, maybe yes, we don't know, we are not playing the game right. But I feel like the Meditation Garden could be put a little bit more to the right side, because right now, it's not really meditating, it's more like seditating.
No. I'm so glad this is on my channel, so that I can cringe and like make noises as I please. So after seeing the Sedation Garden, we are all getting ready for the opposite of a snooze fest. Because there is a Jugunu on the field. And guys, you've seen Jugunus. You've seen what they can do. One Jugunu can rule them all, and he's going straight across the map. He's going to go deny something. And honestly, this is probably what you want to think about, because when you're playing against Japan, you know what's coming. You know what's coming. That's a fast castle right there. And apparently, that's also going to be a deer pushing. And especially with those disgusting spearmen, they just make it so much easier. And that's the most beautiful micro out of a scout I've seen in ages. Wham! Wow! More like BAM! Not wham. There we go. There we go.
That's a really, really interesting outcome, right? If you think about it, just like what I said, Zushi will do some feudal aggression, and he's actually doing it. Look at that, Spearman and Chuganyu in the queue. At the same time, Anatan is researching double Brodex?
He is getting double Broadaxe for the early games that he did not get double Broadaxe in. So guys, for those of you who joined a little bit later, we saw a game where Anatan did not prioritize that double Broadaxe on his side. And this time it's the first thing he calls. He's like, hey brother, I need some production building. Oh, of course he gets double Broadaxe. He's gonna go for Yumi's. You? Me? Nah, Yumi. He's gonna make a lot of them. And I can see why, because when you see 6 Juganus, you start to wonder about your game plan, right? Because this is now his final shot at making this. So he needs to make this count. And the way to do it is by getting a bunch of Yumis and be able to kite these guys into oblivion. But behind this, Wham is cooking Pro Scouts. And that is what I love about Wham. He knows what the meta is, but he can force you out of the meta and put himself right back in.
And the Pro Scout is in for Wham. He's going to Pro Scout. Wow. Yumi is yielding on the field very, very soonish. The question is, no, we are just on level 1 TC right now for the Japanese, so the Yumi will do only 4 damage because there is no +1 range damage yet in as well. Do we have the stone? No stone yet, so he has to keep gathering gold, but he's not gathering gold, so he will not get the stone to upgrade his TC. And also, Anatan, where are those villagers gathering the farm? Hello? Did we just forget to put the villagers on the farm? It is very important.
This poor guy, he just played a 1-hour game against Wham. After that, we should just be thankful that this man is still clicking the buttons. But he's probably doing it with something in mind. He wants to get as much food as possible. Because you can see, he is just spending everything he can. Now, I hope that's the case. And the Yumis, though, they are going to be carting and carting and carting. But the thing is, they're a little bit cheaper, so they're probably going to do a lot better. The Samurai as well going to be helping this significantly, especially now with that +1 range defense. And there's no +1 coming for Wham just yet. It doesn't look like this army mass is going to be able to do the damage that Wham was hoping. But it does give him the time to actually get the Pro Scouts going.
I'm curious if I ever gonna see a Palace Guard from any players on any tournament, because feudal Palace Guards are underrated, honestly, and I do believe they are insanely strong. Well, you know, one day when they wake up, they are not touching the water with their hands, and they will realize how good they are. Just like when they realize the Urguard, and they are doing more Urguard White Tower push, which is insanely good. I hope one day they will realize the strength of the Palace Guard.
Now, the strength of the Palace Guard is something that is not as discovered for sure, because I think a lot of people, they try to stay within the meta, because that is the safer play to do, especially at these high levels, where someone can exploit any crazy thing that people do. But Wham, he respects this. You can see he's pulling back, he's not trying to overextend, but he is getting that +1 range himself. He realizes this is definitely what I need to be focused on. Does the horseman transition as well, but the spearman is at the ready already. Anatan doing amazing work at trying to shut this down, but he needs to be careful because now those Jugunu are actually trading pretty well. Now the horses, though, I wonder where they're heading off to. It might look like they're going for some very aggressive picking, but these bad boys, they do need to make a pretty hard connection here. We do have a lot of there we go, they found their new target. But the thing is, this Pro Scout, it is very, very scary at this point of the game, because you're fighting against an army that is purely from the food. So we'll see how that goes. I actually want to see after this fight what the farming situation looks like. But the horsemen are on top of the Yumis, and they do pick them off pretty well. There's one singular spearman that will get picked off very, very fast. And let's go look at that farming situation. And Corvinus, when I see this, I'm telling you, ANOCHAD knows something. And, oh, never mind, he's just put them on there. When I was looking earlier, they were still off. Never mind. It might just be Wham forcing every little mistake he can.
I'm pretty sure that's the case, because like the reason why would you put the visualization form to make sure the sheep will last longer. You might get it a little bit, just a little bit slower compared to the sheep, but you know that food actually will not run out at all, so you can just eat it forever. Right now we see a really good push into Annotant army with Wham, Chiganyu plus Horseman, and he did a really good job.
Now, the thing is, he bit off a little bit more than he can chew, but this might actually just be a bait, because as we can see, ANOCHAD is going for castle pretty soon. He's already getting ready there, 26 on food now. You can see the food under the TC running out, so definitely needs to be considerate of that. And he needs to think about where he's going to be getting those resources from. But the deer situation is looking pretty nice for him, especially being this close to the base. So with him still making units and more samurais, maybe this was not actually a castle situation he was thinking of. I don't know, this feels scary. He's keeping his options open.
Well, I can tell you that if the game goes longer, the better for Wham, right? Because Wham is much closer to age up. Annotant just spent his food! Oh no! Annotant! What is your food?
He is trying to make as many units as possible, but at the same time keeping a little bit in the bank. The horsemen now from Wham, though, they're gonna find some damage. And even though it might not be a lot before the reaction, it can pull the attention away from the fight. And that's exactly when your opponent will make those mistakes. Scout moving a little bit farther ahead as the horsemen are trying to connect as well. And even when you're trying to micro, it does... trying to attack at the back and the front, it does definitely add up. Oh, these poor guys. So now, what we have here is we have horses that are absolutely annoying. It's so difficult to handle. I think that when you're dealing with an army composition like this, it does feel very iffy to actually close this out. And you don't really know where do I stop. But now you can see he is banking up on a little bit more food, just making Yumis constantly, but without over-investing. He just wants to make sure that Wham is not allowed to get what he wants. Because right now, Wham is pushed off of gold, and he will very soon see that he's completely off of gold. And this is most likely where you want to keep your opponent. You can see now he's just going to have enough to get one singular upgrade, and then hopefully for him, the taxes do the talking.
And he can just put an IO on one of those archer ranges and he will get the upgrade out really fast. So as Wham, I would just still keep pushing because I just get my upgrade in like a second, right? So him not using the ability to age up and to be there very fast, it's kind of weird to me, but we will see. Maybe he's just focusing to protect the masters, the little monks. But they don't really need a protection since they can protect themselves.
Now those are the spiciest monks in all of the land. It does look like the horses will be able to pick up this Yumi, but the thing is, the information is out. And this gives ANOCHAD a little bit of breathing room to get aged up himself. Now we see that Wham has not queued up anything with all of that food just yet. And as I say that, he gets yet another Shaolin monk. But we'll see if that Lancer switch is coming in or not. Corvinus, can you tell me about the differences for the Lancers with Zushi?
Well, with Zushi, if you upgrade your unique upgrade from the blacksmith, all you have is a little bit extra attack speed. But with the Japanese, you have those really strong knights tanking one shot before they can receive any type of damage. Also, they have increased base damage as well, thanks to the mounted bannerman.
Now, we do see that the horsemen are trying to get a little bit of a distraction, but with the Juganus coming, it does feel a little bit scary here. And Kiliardi says that he believes that Wham does these landmark placements to trigger people with OCD. so that we can just be like, ah, every single time. It could be a pretty good wham strategy there to get the fans to get the fans talking. Now the horses, ooh, we can see he's just thinking, oh, professional scouts, baby, I am hungry. Because we see this. He's on the berries and there's one deer, oh, not even one. That's just a little bite that's left on that deer carcass. And now all of a sudden, the lancers are going to arrive here, but they are going to get cleaned up pretty quickly. The horsemen trying to get onto the back archers here too at the same time. We have +2 ranged attack coming in from both sides, but it does feel like ANOCHAD is in a little bit of a stronger position here, as he is on home defense point, and his composition right now is going to be able to handle this much... Oh, I was saying that, but I was looking at Wham's composition. Never mind. Once the Lancers arrived, ANOCHAD's cooked.
Well, it was a good try, right?
Yes.
At least he tried. But the Chiganyu plus the good old knights. Oh, wait. How the tables have turned. Wait, hold up. Now, who is pushing who? It's really hard to decide. Come on, guys. Just decide. Kill more units.
No.
But right now, ANOCHAD is better situation.
Yeah, it felt like the Lancers really fell flat on their face the moment they got in there. The archers taking them down, and I think that's just the power of the bannermen, right? The power of the bannermen makes this, and just as we say that, we can see now Wham is on the cooked side. Oh my goodness, they're just cooking each other, guys! I love that I don't have to cast professionally on this channel. I can just be me. So, now that we have a little bit of a medium rare ANOCHAD, but I would say a little bit of the medium well done on Wham's side, we do have ourselves a good old question. Can Wham's Lancers actually get on top of those archers and do the damage with the spearmen in the mix? There's only 5 spears. But 5 is definitely enough to turn this fight because, you know, the numbers, the supply does not lie. And right now the supply is telling us a very scary story. The Lancers trying to make a connection. They do get onto the line pretty fast and the reinforcements are quite a while away. But they're taking a lot of damage. These do not have plus... Oh, they do have... No, they do not have +2 range defense. So they do take quite a bit of damage from these archers.
Which is really bad because if you consider he has... archers +2 damage, right? Oh, and GG gets gold.
Guys,
I mean, I can understand because the amount of army, right?
And guys, that brings us to our first show match arena cappuccino between our qualified players for our event. Yes, very nice, very nice. Corvinus, you survived yet another best of 5 with me. How does it feel?
Well. Let me ask you something. Why is it? I mean, I'm always casting with you, but it doesn't happen with anyone else that you are casting with. But when you are casting me, we are getting the 1 hour games.
It's because they know how degenerate we get when we do eventually get to 1 hour games. It's like we lose our minds slowly. So yeah. No, Tommy, it's fine. It's just a show match. It's okay. We don't need to drag ANOCHAD in here. So, all good in the hood. So, yeah. I think a lot of us have seen these 2 Chads battling it out. We'll see them a little bit more in the EGC tournament next weekend. I think it starts. So, for them, it will start in 2 weekends. This weekend, we will be doing over on the SteelSeries channel the actual qualifier with people who still need to qualify. And we have some pretty hot contenders, I think, for this. Corvinus, who's your money on to qualify this weekend? CSO?
Not on myself, that's for sure.
Not on yours.
But we have still Lucifer, right?
We do have Lucifer.
Okay. Let me put the top 3 that I think will qualify. Okay. First, CSO.
Yes. Okay.
Second, Lucifer. And third is Kiliardi.
Ooh, Kiliardi has been on vacation though. Do you think the man can come back swinging?
Listen, he can be old, but the older it gets, the better he can use it.
Okay. So he's using the age, the wisdom.
Yes, he has the wisdom.
Now, guys, I'm gonna send you guys over. Corvinus, are you gonna stream tonight or not?
I'm not sure yet, so don't send it to me.
No, not sending to you. Okay, Corvinus is not. I do see, however, we have a return person, and Yabo, thank you very much for the resub. Draxidel for the resub. Quash Queer and Beastie as well for all the resubs during all of the shenanigans. I'm gonna send you guys over to a laser. Guys, our StarCraft chat is back! A laser, I don't know if he qualified for the EWC. Probably not. Yeah, Yabo, you've been here too long. Chill.
Chill.
Chill, dude. All right, guys.
Nobody give you a card.
Stop it. No, appreciate it so much. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon.